We be live.
Serving shaitan with a smile.
Woo! Okay, that's good. Wait,
Okay.
we're not live on one of those places. One of them was. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. YouTube, Facebook. It's not working on one of the Facebook places that we usually go live, but we're live on YouTube, so that's fine. So, guys, we are reviewing a recent video that Andrew Tate expressed his opinions about Islam, and this has been a bombshell when it comes to the Islam world and also the Christian among Christians and Muslims. This has been making huge waves. This interview has so far, it was released 9 days ago. How many views do you think this interview? Here's the interview. How many? Oh, you saw it already?
No, I didn't. I didn't. I could still.
Okay.
I'm going to guess 10 million. Is that too high?
12.
12 million.
12 million.
Seriously, I really thought 10 million was like a way out. Like I was throwing that out there as like, there's no way it's more than. Oh my gosh.
12 million views. This interview has received 12 million in 9 days. 9 days so far.
Is that a good or bad thing though? Because normally I would say videos with Andrew Tate getting 12 million views is bad, but I feel like he might make himself look like an idiot in this video. So maybe that's a good thing.
No, people are celebrating this.
Oh, like, really? They think he did? Oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
Also, 12 million for an interview, which is 4 hours long. That's huge. Like that is 4 hour interviews don't get this many views. Like even when it comes to celebrities. So
that is intense.
This is big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi everyone. People are saying hi in the live chat. So yeah. So we're not going to review the 4 hours, obviously, right? But I'm gonna. So this week I want to do. I know you don't like us reviewing Andrew Tate.
Well, it hurts me. It's one of those things that it's like I do enjoy in some senses. It's like eating too much sour candy, you know? At first you're like, oh man, this is great. And then at some point you're like, this is physically causing me pain, but I can't stop. It's too good. It's you know, it's fine. It's fine. I take it. So
yeah, it's almost 5 hours actually. But here's the thing. I have bad news for you, Elliot. We're gonna do 2 reviews this week and next week. Okay. So there's one section where he talks about God, religion, and Islam, and I want to do a follow-up section next week, which is the part that he talks about LGBT stuff.
Oh, sweet. Right? Yeah. No, it will be good. Honestly, it will be fine. It will be. The whole next week, if any of you guys encounter me somewhere and you just see me just a little bit depressed, it's probably because of this, but
all right, let's get started. So here's Andrew Tate talking about God and religion and Islam. Okay, but by the way, the Muslim world is divided when it comes to Andrew Tate and how they respond. So we have conservative Muslims defending him, and I don't know, liberal Muslims like thinking this is bad, right? Especially female feminist Muslims hate the idea that he's popular among Muslim men. However, this interview didn't go down very well with conservative Muslims, right? And a lot of them were like, what the hell? But some of them were like, still like, okay, this was bad, but we still love him. Kind of like, love, hate,
still defending.
Response. Yeah. But let's see if you could tell what the issue is. Okay. With conservative Muslims. Okay. So let's watch this. So this is Andrew Tate with God, religion, and Islam. Okay.
I think it's third law, equal and opposite force. What you just said there is absolutely true. There has to be equal and opposite force to all the evil in the world. I think that's the equal and opposite force to all that evil has to be God. And I've talked.
This is Andrew Tate's main proof for God. I've heard him say this for a couple of years now. He used to be an atheist. Okay. So until he saw how much evil exists in the world, and he considered that to be the devil, and he says, well, there can't be this much evil without an opposite force existing to counter that. and that is his proof for the existence of God. So I think Newton's law, he's applying that to evil, and that is Andrew Tate's philosophical argument for the existence of God, which is probably, I was trying to think of a dumber argument that I've heard for the like, as much as bad as the arguments for God goes, I think this is one of the worst I've ever heard from the top G himself.
Do you think do you think that he has do you think that he has heard somebody say like the problem of evil and then just like never looked into what that argument actually is, and then was just like, yeah, there's evil in the world, so clearly there's God in the world because God's good, it balances the evil. Like, or do you think he came up with this on his own? Because at first it almost sounded like he was trying to go down this problem of evil thing, but that's not how the problem of evil works. It basically says, if your God is...
This has
you don't think he's that intelligent?
No, I don't think he actually like looks up arguments or tries to understand.
So he just sat down and just thought this made sense.
Yeah, for a couple of years now. This is his journey out of atheism into Islam. His journey out of atheism is like, there is a lot of evil, there must be a counterforce, therefore God.
That's amazing. That is just amazing. I think I've heard 7-year-olds come up with better logic than that. Wow. Wow.
Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, no, I thought we'd get further in before I'm just completely baffled, but all right. Good deal.
Yeah, and people are saying he wants so hard to be smart. He actually thinks this is an intelligent point. He actually thinks that this is an intelligent point.
It's very dumb. It's very dumb. If we weren't so early in the video, I'd have a few cuss words in front of that word dumb, but it is very dumb.
Right. This is actually, Andrew Tate and people like Andrew Tate and Trump are good examples of how success is not necessarily correlated to intelligence.
Oh my gosh. It's a freaking, they say everything in life is salesmanship, Armin. And if these two are nothing but snake oil salesmen, I mean, goodness gracious, like, oh my gosh. I'm just confused.
Actually, Mustafa is coming up with a good defense for him. Mustafa is saying, keep in mind, he had a whole career where he gets punched in the face repeatedly before coming up with that. Okay, that's the best defense. That is the best defense of Andrew Tate I've ever heard. Good job, Mustafa.
It's not his fault. It's a physical issue that has occurred from beatings to the head. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You should still go to jail, but that's a different conversation. But okay.
Yeah.
Talked about this at length, even with atheists, and I try and say that regardless of whether you're an atheist or not, you're thinking of God as a man in the sky, but you need to think of God as a concept as a whole. Okay. And once you do that, it's impossible to...
Wait, this part is actually very interesting. Okay, so that part was stupid, but there's a lot I could say about the second part. Okay, so he's telling atheists that their understanding of what God is wrong, and he's coming up with his own definition of God to say, well, that exists. Okay, and this part is actually quite okay.
Regardless of whether you're an atheist or not, you're thinking of God as a man in the sky, but you need to think of God as a concept as a whole. And once you do that, it's impossible to accept that he doesn't exist, right? I said that
Armin, he's not saying God's just a concept, is he?
That sounds like what he's saying, because if he's saying that, that puts him out of the fold of Islam.
That puts him out of the fold of most religions. What?
This is kufr. Okay, he is, by claiming that, okay, Andrew Tate has just become, I'm sad to say this, one of us. Okay,
he is. No, we don't want him. We don't want him.
Okay, he's not only just an atheist, like he's also an ex-Muslim now. Okay, he's an ex-Muslim because he became a Muslim, and now this puts him out of the fold of Islam. He is, but let's go on because he's introducing the idea of pantheism, or like Spinoza's God, for example. To say that a utilitarian. By the way, it's still stupid. I will tell you why it's stupid. But this is a utilitarian perspective on God. Like God is just a concept, and that you have created to get a certain utility out of. Right. This is not the Islamic view that man serves God. Man is the slave of Allah. Man is there. God is reality, and you're here to worship him. This completely flips that on its head. This is Allah or God being a concept to serve man, right? But the reason why I say this is dumb, okay, is because he just says that you can't deny it doesn't exist. But it doesn't exist. We as atheists, we know that God exists as a concept. We know that the concept of God exists. Yeah. Our point is that the concept of God does not have any. There's no objective reality outside of the imagination and of human. It's a human invention. It's a human concept that is created by humans. That is what atheists say. It's like, oh, atheists don't seem to understand. If you understand God as a concept, then it exists. Duh. Yeah. Yes, we know the belief in God, the concept of God, we know that exists. We don't deny, like, oh no, God, never heard of it. I don't think people even agree with that, or accept that as a concept. We don't say that, you moron. We just don't think that there's no creator of the universe. There's no self-aware creator of the universe that exists independent of the human mind. That is what the atheists are saying. But go on.
He has to. There has to be something that he follows this up with that helps make this make sense, because otherwise, I'm just deeply confused, because that's kind of the main sticking point again for like all the major religions out there. It's like, hey, I want to be a Christian, and it's like, oh, cool. We kind of have some minimum criteria. Like, for instance, you have to believe that this guy, Jesus Christ, was the human physical incarnation of a very real deity. And if you're just like, well, Jesus Christ was God in a conceptual format, and be like, what? He didn't die on the cross for your sins conceptually. Like, oh my gosh.
Look, Susanna is putting this also very well. Like, So Susanna is saying, we acknowledge that social constructs are real in their consequences, even if they are technically made up. Exactly. Right.
It's really simple. Like, we understand that the concept of unicorns exists, but if you go outside in the forest and spend the rest of your damn days looking, you're just not gonna find one. That really does seem to be the case. And he's saying God is in that same boat, it sounds like. And again, I don't know how he could say that. That seems obviously wrong. But
okay, Newman is upset that we're saying he's one of us. Newman gave us a super chat. Thank you, Newman from India, saying good morning from India. He is not one of us. Newman, I'm sorry to tell you, he's now an atheist based on the definition.
He sounds like it. He sounds like it from what he just said. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. He has to say something. He has to say something next that makes that make sense, right? Like, he has to follow that up with a comment.
Yeah. Also, when it comes to social construct, we're not dissing social constructs. There are useful social constructs. Some of them are very useful. Some of, like, the idea of a contract, the idea of money, the idea of a country. Countries are social constructs, and the idea of a country is a very useful, construct. Good job, humans. That served us very well, good. Right? Yeah, we did good. Morality is a social construct. We did good there as well, right? Laws are. But like the idea of God, like maybe the social construct of God, it had utility throughout history. we as anti-theist atheists were saying, even if it did have utility in the past, and I don't know if we would have civilization with that construct, we can disagree. Like, that's a debatable topic. Yeah. But the point that we're making now is that we think like now it's like way more harm than good.
Definitely
right?
Not beneficial. Yeah.
Like now we're almost, most of us are in agreement that you should just get rid of it now. Okay, whatever utility it had before. But let's see what he says. Continues.
The atheist. I said, let's say there was 2 islands. They're shipwrecked, right? And there's 2 islands.
Okay, wait. I can't believe the audio quality of this podcast. This is like one of the most important podcasts it's 12 million, and I'm hearing so much background noise. Like, what the hell? We have better audio right now than they do.
I know. It's in this setting, you do a room tone, you take it out. I don't know, but I'm not an audio engineer, I guess. So
it's unbelievable. What the hell did they do here? Okay, but
right. I said to the atheist, I said, let's say there was 2 islands. They're shipwrecked, right? And there's 2 islands. Both of them are full of savages. On one island, you and your friend are shipwrecked. On one island, your friend goes and he crashes and they kill him and they eat him. And you go to another island and they want to kill you and eat you, but they don't because it's against their religion. Mm-hmm. Did God save your life?
No.
It doesn't even know the name of their God.
No, the concept of God did. Yeah. So
the concept of God in that particular instance, you're correct. But
yes,
if we are actually doing the thing that all religious people care about, then the answer is no. God didn't save you. People saved you because of the message that they got from God, right?
Right.
Like it's not even. Go ahead.
No, but his point is, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if the actual God exists. The concept of God is having its effect. Which, if you accept that, then you are not a religious person. Right, you are not a Muslim.
Right, that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, you are. Okay, if you believe that it doesn't matter, like, in effect, it's having it, the impact on our lives is that it having an effect, whether or not the God is real. Okay, you are now a kafir. You are an infidel. You are telling people that it doesn't actually matter if God himself is real outside of our minds, outside of the concept. That is not Islam, Andrew Tate. That is not Islam. You are not a Muslim anymore. You are an infidel. And also, I don't want to say this because YouTube might think I'm saying it, but that has serious implications in Islam.
Oh, boy, does it. Boy, does it. Yeah.
I think, if serious Muslims, serious conservative Muslims, the consequences, ask Ali Dabod. Ask them what they're proud
of it.
I'm proud of that. Okay, so I don't know, Andrew. You might not be very safe anymore because this sounds like you are now an ex-Muslim. This sounds to me like you are now an infidel. Yeah.
It just really is so confusing because, again, that's like, you watch out. You watch out, Armin. Don't be a takfiri.
I'm gonna respond to that. Okay, you tell me your point, that I'll respond to that.
What he's saying is just really fundamentally against all of the major religions out there. Like, that's one of the big things that separates you from being like Jewish in terms of tradition and ethnicity and culture, but not religiously Jewish, right? It's like, oh yeah, I do all the things, I do the Passover and yada yada, but I just don't think God's real. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. You're like an atheist Jew, But like he's saying that is what convinced him. It that's what made him believe that God exists, is that God is a concept. And I don't know. I'm really confused. It's one of those moments where a religious person comes up to you and wants to preach their religion. And then 2 minutes into it, you're just like, oh, I don't think you know very much about this, bro. You don't seem to be very well educated on what you believe, Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Susanna saying, Armin, don't be takfiri. Okay, so for people who don't know, takfiri is somebody who announces that somebody is no longer a Muslim, and in Islam they look down upon that. If if you are takfiring somebody for the sake just because they have sinned. Okay, but this is not him sinning. This is him announcing a foundational belief. Like if you say that for you the existence of God itself outside of the human mindset is not an issue, right? This is not you not being a Muslim because you drank alcohol or you ate pork or you had sex out of marriage. Because if you sin and you still have those foundational beliefs, as long as you don't deny that those are sins, you're still a Muslim. You're a Muslim who's sinning.
Sure.
So, and if somebody takfirs you in that point and announces that you're not a Muslim, this is very much looked down upon, because this is something that is associated with the Kharijites, something that both Shias and Sunnis hate, right? However, this is not that. When somebody tells you, for example, if I say, I don't believe in Allah, and then you say, well, you're not a Muslim, that is not controversial, dude. Like, this is, you don't believe in Allah, you're not a Muslim. That's like,
it's standard criteria. Yeah, you have to adhere to certain things, man. Again, it's you it's not fair for you to be like, I'm a Christian, and then somebody go, oh, so you must believe that Jesus Christ died and rose again for the forgiveness of your sins. And they go, nah, I just think it was a concept. Like, it's like, well, you're not a Christian in that sense, man. Like, that's fine. Like, nobody cares, but just don't go around telling people that you're this. Like, I don't know. It's got to get better, Armin. He's got to provide something else. I really am. Maybe I'm naive, but let's see.
Yes, you are. Let's go on. Okay.
Did God save your life? No. Who cares? Who doesn't even know the name of their God? But their God said, don't kill shipwrecked survivors. And now you're alive.
So their God, notice how their God, because that's also shirk, okay? Because you are acknowledging the existence of their God. So if you're a Muslim and you believe in Allah, he's the only God, okay? That there's no other God. But you are acknowledging existence for just a random God on an island right now. And you're saying their God, you're acknowledging it being real as much as you believe in Allah. So you now just associated partners in godhood with Allah, other gods' existence. Even as a conservative Muslims, even if you suggest that, okay, no, his version of reality for God is acceptable for me, which is insane based on Islamic standards, he's accepting the same level of existence to just a random God on an island that he just made up. Yeah. Which is now more. They're not just. There's not just one God. There are many gods. You can't believe in many gods in Islam. You're like, their God is real. That is shirk. That puts you on. That's worse than being a kafir. You're a mushrik now. You are actually worse. You're actually worse. Like based on Islamic standards, this is the worst thing you could ever do. But go on.
And again, just real quick. I know I've said it already, but like, this is like basic criteria, you guys. You would have thought he would have at least gotten like a couple of these things down, you know?
Right.
But one thing that's coming to my mind is it kind of sounds like what you were saying earlier, where he's taking this utilitarian approach, right? And saying that like, well, you know, believing in God, even as a concept, like brings all this good stuff anyway, so might as well. But the problem with that is going to be when you put two different versions of God together and the harm that one of them does. And I just think it's absolutely absurd to think that is how he truly believes in God, in that, you know, utilitarian calculus, and then picked Islam out of all of them, right? Well, he was out there going, any god can provide benefit. They're all about the same anyway. Let me pick this one that just seems to be extra.
Well, he goes into that. He tells you
no way.
Yeah. So he will explain to you. We'll get to that soon. So so for people who don't understand, when we say he has a utilitarian perspective, he's basically looking at what to believe that has the most use case. What is the most beneficial? So he doesn't care about whether that God is real or not. He's just picking his belief based on what utility, what use, what it can bring, what service it can provide to him, right? So he's using God. He's not, based on Islamic standards, he's supposed to be Allah's slaves, but he is like, in this way, Allah is Andrew Tate's slave because it's supposed to provide him some services. So among all religions, based on this utilitarian perspective, why did he pick Islam, which we'll get to, right?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
their God saved your life. The concept of God in and of itself saved your life. You owe God just for the concept of it, the idea of it. So even the idea of opposing evil as a whole is a belief in God. So you're either an evil person or you believe in God in some regard.
You're either an evil person or you believe in God in some regard. So as long as, hey, Secular Rarity, do you believe that we have to confront evil? Do you believe that we have to?
I do, Armin. I do.
You believe in God. You believe in God. You're not an atheist.
Where's my crackers and grape juice?
Look at this. Look at the philosophical argument being made here. Like this is a new era in philosophy. We have just made this is a groundbreaking analysis. Guys, if you as long as you think that evil need to be countered, you, based on Andrew Tate's definition of believing in God, you believe in God. So you're either evil yourself or you believe in God. There's no other. Isn't this a false dichotomy?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, 100%. And the other thing that it is the same thing that religion. Let me take a step back. It's the same thing that very, very uninformed, very stupid religious people like Andrew Tate have said for years, where they do this thing where they're like, oh, the only way that you can do anything of value in society whatsoever is through my thing, my God, my belief. And if you don't, then you're probably just a terrible person. In fact, you are a terrible person. Like it's just stupid. Like, what's his name? The banana guy. The banana guy that goes around and he says like, oh, have you ever told a lie before? Oh, that makes you a liar. You need Christ to stop being a liar. But like that at least has some substance to it. What Andrew just said is just literally, it's just nothingness. Like it provides no explanation. Ray Comfort, thank you. Yes, Ray Comfort, that idiot of a guy walks around telling people bananas are perfectly designed for people. Like that's a better argument than what Andrew Tate just said. And like, I don't know. I'm a theist now, I guess because I think evil should be fought. That's amazing.
All right, so we got two super chats. One from Gasian American is saying, is he saying God lives as a meme organism? Yeah. So basically God is a meme.
God is a meme.
God is a meme. That's basically what he's saying. I don't think he understands that that's what he is saying. I don't think he has like read up on any of that.
I'm not sure he could spell the word meme. I'm not positive. No, I don't know. I've never seen him spell, but so far I'm not feeling great about his education.
Yeah. So. And Secular Sakai just gave us a super sticker. Thank you so much, Secular Sakai. That's very nice. Thank you.
All right, it's a little hippo going.
It's a little hippo. All right, let's continue.
Let's see.
And then once I understood that there had to be an equal and opposite force, I was raised Christian. I live in a Christian nation. Romania is actually, I think, the second or third most Christian country on earth. It's a very Christian country here. It's churches everywhere.
Is it?
They strongly believe. And that,
I don't know.
I really don't think so. Especially considering, at the very least, the Vatican City is a country, y'all. Like it's literally a Christian theocracy. He said Romania is like the second most Christian country, and it might be. I really don't know.
How do you define like Christian by percentage?
I guess.
Or like how do you define that? I don't.
Like it couldn't be just straight numbers of people, right? There's more Christians in the U.S. than there in Romania, right? We've got more people, but like percentage wise, maybe it's like 98% Christian or something. But
let me see percentage. Yeah, Congo, for example, it seems to be more Christian.
Yeah, see, I would have expected some more African nations, especially in like Central African area.
Oh, no. You're right. He's right, actually. Top 10 by numbers. So top 10 by numbers, Ethiopia would be okay. But so top 10 but by percentage, number 1 is Vatican, number 2 is Romania.
Okay, so by percentage. Okay.
By
Still
percentage,
though, that's that's good. That's good. I mean, he says so much other stuff that's just obviously, incorrect. That on these ones or twos that we're not sure about it. We want to. We'll give him credit. He got that right.
We want to be fair.
Yeah,
he got that right.
He got that right.
Yeah.
Nothing else, but
Okay.
The third most Christian country on earth. It's a very Christian country here. It's churches everywhere. They strongly believe. And that's where I began my journey. But I always had a very healthy respect for Islam because I understand that to a degree, to have a religion at all, you have to have an intolerance to a degree. Because without an intolerance, you don't have.
What? I don't know how he's going to justify that. I don't know.
So let me steelman him. Okay, but also, guys, I see I got some super chats. I'll get to them right away. But so this is that you can't have. He's trying to say that unlimited tolerance means that you have no standards. That's basically what you're saying. That there are certain. Yeah,
I get you. It's the tolerance of intolerance paradox type of thing. Is that, do you really think he knows that that's what he's saying, Armin? Or do you think he stumbled onto that? Do you think he recognizes that he's saying there's a certain point that tolerance cannot accept certain levels of intolerance because then you can't have the do you think he's saying that, or you just kind of
not that nuance, but to the point that you can't just be tolerant of everything. There should be some hard lines that you have to come up. Okay. Basically today. Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. I'll take that. That's fair.
Asian American saying, and Romania, thank you so much for the super chat. Asian American is saying, and Romania thinks he's evil. So he's saying like Romania is such a Christian country, they have religion, and they have decided.
Does that mean Romania's God? If Romania thinks he's evil and they're fighting evil, does that make Romania God? Is that how it works in Andrew's system? I'm very confused.
I don't know how this works. Yeah, but to be fair, again, I'm trying to be fair here. Okay,
right?
We don't know if the entirety of Romania thinks is evil. Maybe it's just their
that's true.
Legal system.
There's probably one or two people out there that think he's all right. But
no. And Secular Sakai just gave us a super chat saying, "Thank you so much, Secular Sakai." Saying there is no God. If any atheist wants to state there is, I hereby declare they must donate more than $10 to raise the super chat stakes. Okay. Thank you, Secular Sakai, for the support. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's see what he's saying with the tolerance. There needs to be some level of intolerance. Okay.
Right.
Rules. You don't have.
But here's the problem, though. I can get behind that. I can get behind not tolerating everything. Right.
Well,
for example, I don't tolerate fascism, for example.
Right.
However, I don't think the level of intolerance of Islam is a good standard. Right?
I would say so. I mean, yeah. So the intolerance, it's one thing to say some level of intolerance is good. It's another thing to pick the most intolerant, one of the most intolerant ideologies in the world, because intolerance, some degree of intolerance is needed to go on full-on fascist mode, Islamic fascist mode, and pick Islam as an ideology. It's really confusing, Armin. It seems like at the beginning he's been like, "Yeah, man, gotta have, gotta be kind of tolerant, but can't be super, tolerant. So you gotta have a nice middle ground," and then it's like, then you picked Islam. That's weird. And he's like, well, you don't have to actually believe God exists. Just believe in God as a concept so that, good stuff happens, from that. And it's like, but then you picked Islam, man. I don't understand. I don't know how. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going.
Laws. You don't have any, like you said, you have to earn God's respect. If you're a religion which is tolerant of everything, then you don't have to earn God's respect. You can be a bad person and do bad things. God loves me, so it's fine. Well, no, it's not, because that's not the point of the religion. So then you extrapolate that out, and I was sitting and thinking, well, what's the?
Yeah, I mean,
that's Christianity. Christianity is explicitly that all followers of that, all people whatsoever, actually are at their core terrible. and that God still loves you. And that's the grace of Jesus Christ. Like what he described is literally Christianity. Like that's why so many atheists get pissed off when they're like, hey, how come all of these murderers and stuff get to go to heaven? And it's like, well, because they repented and they, decided that they loved God again. So it's like,
yeah, but that's why he says he doesn't like Christianity. That's why he left Christianity.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's a bad policy too. It's just,
yeah. So he agrees with you. He thinks so. Like it's just too.
I feel
just like everything.
I feel weird knowing that Andrew Tate agrees with me, even though I feel like it's a good point. It's just like I don't know. I just felt something weird like inside me.
Yeah. Mustafa just gave us a super chat. Let me actually unstart the rest of them so I can manage these super chats. Wow, we're getting a good, decent number of super chats today. Mustafa is saying, would Tate make a good Far Cry villain or what? I haven't played Far Cry, so have you played Far Cry?
I haven't. But probably he probably would. He'd probably make a good villain in anything. You could just put him anywhere. I think. Have a villain who openly talks about, like, RAPE with minors. Like this guy has done that. Like that's textbook villain. That's exactly what a villain does. Like I don't know. It seems like it fits to me. So.
Okay, let's continue.
Because that's not the point of the religion. So then you extrapolate that out, and I was sitting and thinking, well, what's the primary function of a religion? And the primary function of a religion, I don't believe is the religion exists so I can live forever. I mean, that's a nice thought. But I think on a macro level, the primary objective of a religion is to restore and contain some degree of traditional value within the society. How do you judge? It changed the way I feel.
What? Did he just like give away his hand? Did he just basically admit like the whole point of religion is just to control people? Is that what he just said, Armin? There's no way that's what he just said, right?
Yeah, but okay, so from an atheistic perspective, like from some again, I don't want to generalize. We could be like, yeah, we agree with that. That's religion is to control the masses, right? But this is also acceptable somewhat from a religious perspective, right? Religion comes to give structure. One of the utilities of religion is to come and give structure to society. So what you as an atheist might describe as controlling the masses, they as a religious person, if I put my religious hat on, is what you call control is just a framework and structure for society to run more efficiently, right?
Okay, I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. But I would, if I was in that religious mindset, I would think about it differently. I wouldn't think about it in the sense of trying to keep the traditions going, right, and properly practiced or anything. It would be a returning to what is correct, right? Because when Allah made the world, when God made the world, it was perfect, and then human beings deviated from his plan. And that's what gave us all this bad stuff, right? He has a really weird view of religion, Armin. I wouldn't have said it like that when I was a believer.
Well, maybe from I don't know, as a Muslim, you might say that. I'm more likely to say that because, so here's the thing. If you compare Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, right? This is a very simplistic comparison, right?
Sure.
Judaism seems to be very action and behavior and rule focused, right? These are the things you do.
For sure.
And somewhat even less belief focused, right? So for example, you could be like, I don't believe in this stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. Just do the thing. Just do the things. Just do the things, right? Like, it doesn't matter how much you believe it. Okay. Just do the traditions, do the prayers. Like, as long as you still could be considered within the fold if you are just taking the proper actions, right?
Yeah.
Christianity, on the other hand, it seems to be very action, belief focused, right? It's like, even if you don't do certain actions, as long as you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you're still within the fold.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
much
very
more
heavy
willing on that. Yeah.
Yes, it's not as rule focused. I know in history Christians have been very rule focused. Like, there are examples of them being rule focused, right? But if you look at the core of the teachings of the ideology, it's a lot more belief focused rather than rule and action focused, right? Yeah. Islam is a mix of those two, right? Islam is both at the same time very like to be within the core of the ideology of Islam, you have to believe certain things, and if you don't, you're not within the fold of Islam, right? But it's also very strict when it comes to the rules and the things that you're supposed to do. So a very simplistic way of looking at it, it has like the action rules focus like Judaism and the belief focus of Christianity combined. That would be Islam, right?
Okay. I see that. It just, again, it feels almost to me like the way that he said that was more from a perspective of a non-believer than a believer,
right?
You know, it just really doesn't feel like he's very into this whole thing of God and religion. That's just, it just sounds yeah.
So here's the problem with, like, if I want to put my Muslim hat on, okay, the problem with what he's saying is not that he's addressing the utility of religion. Like, as a Muslim, I could accept, like, yeah, Islam is a good thing because it's bringing a framework to society. Sure. It's controlling, and that's a good thing. As a Muslim, I could say that. But the problem with Andrew Tate, what Andrew Tate is saying is that that's the main thing that it does.
Yeah.
So because the main thing that Islam does, as much as this is a good thing that it does, right, for society, it provides like a structure for people to function properly. Again, these are not, I'm putting my Muslim hat on. These are not my views, right? The main utility of Islam is that it brings you to Allah.
Right.
It brings you to the creator of the universe, and it also saves your afterlife. I mean, this world is very, as important as it is very insignificant compared to your afterlife.
Sure.
As a Muslim, right? And he just basically completely dismissed the idea of living forever, like you just saw right before this. I don't think religion is about living forever, and no, that is actually the main point. As a Muslim, you should actually care about your eternal life way more than you care about your limited life here on earth. Yeah. And he thinks that he's suggesting that the main utility of Islam is this life and what it does for society in this world. That is the problematic view that he has right now based on Islamic standards.
I would say that that falls very much in line with a lot of the Christian that I've dealt with. That they would agree that the good things that happen for individuals and society from following Christ's teachings is a byproduct that will occur if you do this, but the reason that you do it is so that you have eternal glory with God. Like, so I would say that falls right in line with, I don't know. I don't know. Do you think he's just faking it? Do you think Andrew Tate's just straight up faking it, Like he just assumed I don't know that people would, follow him.
I try to judge based on what I'm hearing rather than trying to. I don't know what's going on.
That's fair. It's so weird.
Yeah. So Secular Sakai, thank you so much for the super chat. Secular Sakai is saying Tate would make a good Far Cry villain, the kind whose final fate cutscene would be played over and over just to see justice served. Okay. Guys, we're not wishing that kind of an end for anybody.
It's a video game.
Yeah, no,
it's all in it's all in Minecraft.
Okay. But thank you so much, Secular Sakai, for the super chat. That's very generous. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's continue.
Yep.
How do you judge the success of a religion? I don't think you can judge it by the number of people who join it, because there's lots of people who are Catholic who don't act Catholic. They don't act in any way particularly Christian.
Well, I have news for you. There are a lot of you have no idea how many Muslims there are that don't act Muslim. So
I can think of one right now. This guy.
You're right.
Are you kidding?
We're looking at one. You're right.
Like, how insanely unself-aware does one have to be?
Yeah.
To do that. Like, that would be me, like, sitting here today, you guys, and just being like, yeah, Armin, I mean, there's a lot of people that, they're on shows, but they don't act professional. I mean, they come on here with long hair and red shirts, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's like, bro, what? Like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Are you that stupid? I don't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Mustafa is saying this by experience that also 90% of Turkey can fall into that category. Yeah, I know. There's like a lot of nominal Muslims, people who are. I would say like I would believe that like maybe a decent chunk. I don't want to say a majority. I don't know if it's a majority or not, but I would say a very decent percentage, high percentage of Muslims are nominal Muslims, like just people are Muslim by name only.
I bet, because that's absolutely the case with so many Christians everywhere. There's so many people that you talk to and you're like, you know, they'll just be like, well, I mean, I don't really go to church or anything, but you know, Jesus. And it's like, okay, fine. But like, yeah, they don't follow any rules whatsoever. But again, like, come on, man. Like, that's ridiculous. That's insane that you would say that. Okay.
Let's continue.
Yep.
Anyone can say there's something. You can walk into a strip club and everyone says, oh, Christian. It doesn't mean anything, right? So how do you judge?
Or I don't know, you could be Andrew Tate and still say you're Muslim. You could be a criminal. You could be a criminal and say that you're Muslim.
The success of a religion. Well, I like to think the best way to judge the success of a religion is how successful is it at fighting evil? How successful is it at preserving the morality of a population in X parameter, in X geographical area?
So this is his philosophy. He's saying that we're looking at the utility that he's looking for. So he's looking at the utility of the belief, not the actual objective reality, whether or not it represents objective reality. And he's picking Islam because he thinks that it's the best enforcer. It's among all religions, it's the one that actually people adhere to the most, and it provides certain standards that people abide by in society. And based on that's why Islam has the highest utility, and that's why he picked Islam among all the religions.
If I was completely ignorant, I could see some of his.
Can you go on? Can you go on? Because I'm gonna hold on. Let me check my. Can you go on for a while? Because I'm gonna use the washroom. Be right back.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. I mean, the first thing is like, it's baffling to me because it sounds like what he's saying is, and I'm trying to be charitable, y'all. I really, really am. Like, I'm not trying to make his points look stupid. He does that on his own, but it sounds like what he was saying was a belief system that you find more of the individuals who self-proclaim they are of that system. The system that has the most people that are really strictly following it is like the best system. Well, I mean, if there's no other qualifying factors to it, I could see that argument. Like, this is such a persuasive system. This is such a beneficial for belief for people that as they're enacting this and following this in their daily lives, like, they're seeing the benefit. So thus they keep sticking with it. But the problem is, and I think we all know this, I think most of us understand why there can be such strict adherence to Islam in certain places in the world, right? It's not because like people are seeing the benefits of them following this religion and then receiving that, right? And so they stick with it. It's like it's inherent in the religion. We'll kill you if you leave Islam. So, like, yeah, people are gonna
not our view, YouTube.
Not our view. Bad view that we're fighting against. We are fighting evil, so we must be believers in God. But I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, it had I not, if I didn't know anything about Islam whatsoever, and like the force that is put on individuals to stay within the faith, then it would be like, well, yeah, if you find a bunch of people out there that follow Islam a lot stronger, like all on their own, just because they choose it, like maybe it is better, you know? Why don't we invite Andrew Tate? Yeah. We'll start on that right after the few years he gets out of the Romanian jail. Oxymoron. We'll start sending letters now. We'll get that response eventually. But
because he charges a shitload of money for his presence.
There's that. I want to be in that place one day where I can be such a terrible person and still get paid like a bunch of money just to show up and say worthless crap like this. It's amazing. But I mean, do you see kind of his point though with the if there's a system of belief out there that people are adhering to so strictly, it's possible that that's because they're seeing such great benefits in their lives, right? At least on that level, it's like, okay, I can kind of see that. But again, Islam has all these safeguards in place. That's like, we'll do the choppy. I
don't think the choppy is keeping people in Islam, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's. Yeah. I don't think that's the main thing. But
I don't think it's even a thing. I think it does the opposite. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, of course people stay in Islam. If you leave Islam, they go choppy on your head. I'm like, that's not at all keeping people in Islam. If anything, that actually contributes to people leaving Islam.
You don't think that just provides a general sense of fear amongst people in the community?
Yeah, but that fear makes them hate. Like, if actually that makes you afraid, you're like, well, this sucks. What the hell? Like, why? Because we're talking about beliefs, okay? You can't fear people. Like, you can't make people be afraid enough to pretend that they believe something, but you can't make them afraid enough to actually believe in something.
I'm going to sit you down one of these days, Armins, and read you some Southern Baptist sermons, because I promise you, it's all about fear. It's straight up, be afraid.
I know. Okay, no. There's different kinds of fear. If you're talking about the fear of Allah or Jesus that could see inside your mind, then you might be like, okay, so if even within Islam, if you make people afraid that if they leave Islam, Allah gonna burn them in hell, and Allah can see in your mind, then that fear might keep you in Islam. Okay? Because that's somebody that can read your goddamn mind. So you're like, I better make my mind believe the right things. Right. But if you make people afraid of what humans can do to you and they cannot see in your mind, you're like, well, screw these. If that's the only fear that you're having, all right, then you're like, well, screw them. Maybe I have to pretend that I'm in Islam, but I'm not actually in Islam because they can't see what I'm thinking.
I would love to see if there are any studies on that or anything, because that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. I still kind of think it has a bit of, but either way, his point does not apply. That's the main issue here, is that either way.
Well, what he has to understand is that as we go forward, the thing is that the Christian world, just by circumstance, has been more exposed to the liberal ideas. You know what I mean? And that's why it's not because of necessarily much about Christianity. It's just because the Enlightenment values started coming out in countries where they happen to have been Christian.
Sure.
So we see a lot of Christian living lives that are closer to atheists, because liberalism have spread for longer in Christian countries. But this is going to happen to Islamic countries as well. Yeah, I mean, even as Islam grows, as time goes on, eventually what we will see is that more Muslims are going to live lives that is very similar to people who are not Muslim at all, right?
For sure.
And so it's just a matter of time. So what he's saying, this is not something. So what he's saying, oh, like these Muslims are abiding more by rules. Well, give it time, Andrew Tate. Well, I mean, are you still going to be a Muslim once we see a lot more LGBT activism within the Islamic world, a lot more women's rights issues, spreading in the Islamic world? Because that will eventually happen. And liberalism came for the Christian world, and it will do the same for the Muslim world at some point. So we'll see.
You heard it, y'all. Armin said it. We liberals, we're coming for you. Just kidding.
Yeah, we are coming. We're coming for your kids. Yeah, for sure. for the next generation. That's right. What I mean. Actually,
we'll make them humanists. That's right.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
So when you look at it from that way, You can't say that Islam isn't the most successful religion on earth. It's the most successful in regards to opposing evil. It's the most successful in regards to opposing its differing viewpoints. It's the most successful.
Well, I mean, it is itself evil. So it's not the best at opposing evil. It's the best in spreading evil.
He hasn't defined evil at all, has he? He hasn't like given any like he hasn't, for instance, like let me just as an example, okay? Totally hypothetical, doesn't relate to anything. But let's say there's this guy who traveled around the world and forcibly convinced women to make PORN for him and then kept them locked in, you know, rooms against their will and like beat some of them and stuff. Like I would say that is textbook definition of evil.
That's his. Where we could say like, oh, like so Muslims, a lot of Muslims who want to defend him will say like that was his past. Now he's a better man.
His past, like 2 weeks ago? Like what? Dude, what? Like 14 days went by and you're just like, yeah, it's way in the past. Like he doesn't do that stuff anymore. Like, but I wonder what he thinks the definition of evil is. Like, I wonder what he honestly would point to and say, like, that's evil, you know? Because what evil is Islam fighting in the world? You know, again, that's what it just doesn't make sense to me.
I know his version of evil is not having Bugattis and not having
well, how does Islam help with that? How is Muhammad helping him with that shit? Like, I'm more confused now. I really am. I don't understand how people watch him.
Okay, so
think that he's intelligent.
Let me give you okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so this is very actually his version of evil is the Matrix. Okay, and what he means by the Matrix is that this world order is trying to keep you inside a system and treat you like a slave. And what he is going to do, he is going to save you from that Matrix, right? And this is and also that is uniquely his invention of a sect, of an ideology, but that mixed with some semi-red pill beliefs, and now we're adding Islam on top of that. So it has a belief system that is a mix of three different brands of ideology. But the thing is that now, because of the Islam door being opened to this whole ideology that he just invented and mix up a couple of things, what a lot of Muslim fans of his are trying to do is try to take that narrative of the Matrix and trying to be free from the Matrix, of the world order that is trying to control you in this rat race, in this, and treat you like a slave, and explain that the key to free yourself from that Matrix. So they're accepting his vocabulary. They're using that vocabulary and bringing that to Islam and saying that Islam is the key that saves you out of that Matrix. But the problem is now, like, so here's the problem. The Andrew Tate, before he became a Muslim, his understanding of you coming out of the Matrix to show that the sign that you have been saved out of the Matrix is that you have a whole bunch of Bugatti, there's a whole bunch of women that want to sleep with you, and that you don't follow the laws, right? Like, you don't pay taxes, you don't follow the rules apply to other people, but you have loopholes out of the rules. So these things are a sign that you have made it out of the Matrix, right? However, Muslims' version of making out of the Matrix, it cannot be these material things.
Right.
Because Islam has a lot of emphasis of this world and the material things in this world not mattering, right? The Islam's version of making it out of the Matrix is that you're on Allah's good side and you're a good slave. They have their own Matrix. So you come out of the world liberal order Matrix and they literally call you a slave. So he's saying, oh, don't be a slave to the modern liberal world order. But Islam is like, oh, we're going to save you from this Matrix. And like, okay, what does liberation sound like? Like, oh, you would be the slave of Allah. Like,
right.
Great. We went from one system that they claim that we're slaves to a system that they literally call you a slave. And they literally call you a slave. And the name of the religion itself is submission. You submit. You bend the knee and submit to Allah. Like, okay, you're claiming that we're submitting to something and we're treated like slaves, but you guys are literally saying these things to submit to something and be slaves.
And at least
so
in
that
the
doesn't
first,
seem like
at least in the first scenario with the Matrix, there's actually tangible things around you that you can say, like, well, at least I'm a slave to this big corporation, you know, those headquarters that I go to. Once you step out of that and you become a slave of Allah, you just don't have anything. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is why I'm not, you know, red pilled and surrounded by Bugattis and stuff, Armin. Maybe this is my problem.
Yeah.
If only I could get this, then I could get all that. So damn.
All right. Let's continue.
Yeah. Successful in regards to having people act within the limits and the confines of what it finds to be moral and good to God. It's the most adhered to. It's the most feared. It's the most respected in most forms.
Here's the problem. Here's the thing. Here's the main the thing that Andrew Tate gets wrong the most, and not just with Islam, but with many other things. And Andrew Tate, what he is addicted to is respect. Okay, everything he teaches is about gaining that respect in society among other men, right? So why do you buy Bugatti? Why do you want to be surrounded with women? Why do you want to be rich and have a lot of money? Okay, all of this. The point is not that the Bugatti itself is doing anything for you. Okay,
right?
It's the sex. The sex also is not that big of a deal. Okay, it's all of this. The philosophy is that it brings you respect among other men. They see you as somebody who has made it, and they respect you for it. Right? So gaining respect is key for Andrew Tate, okay? Also, like he so much so that he doesn't care. He thinks that men who are looking for love, men who are looking at women and trying to gain love, they're simps, they're weak, they're pathetic. What you need from a woman is respect, not love. Okay, so you need to gain their respect, and he uses, and here's the thing, I don't have any problem with respect. I don't understand how you need it so badly, okay? Yeah. But if you want respect, if you want to gain respect, go for it. You know, that's why people go and study, why people go and get a career, okay? But here's the problem. He uses the words fear and respect interchangeably, okay? And I don't think he can tell the difference. And I think that he can't even tell that if you are feared, you're not actually respected.
Right.
If you are feared, people are acting as if they are respecting you. It's not genuine respect. Is you are so desperate for respect that you will accept people acting it out even when they genuinely don't respect you. Even if if you manage to get somebody to act like they respect you out of fear, that is not genuine respect. By the way, we just got a major super chat.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Secular Sakai, thank you so much for the $50 super chat. Why are you guys being so generous today? What the hell's going on? Thank you guys for the support. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess, again, maybe this is... y'all, I'm always willing to say it's my fault, but like when you see a guy drive by in a Bugatti, like, do you just like stop what you're doing and think, damn, I respect him? Like, I've never had that moment in my life. I'm sure other people
so many
do.
people do. I
know, but my argument would be kind of like your argument, which is like, hey, what's wrong with you where you just desperately need this like attention so much from others? I've never seen somebody in a super nice car and thought, wow, I respect that person. That's never been my thought. And I don't understand that.
Well, you are an exception because the thing is that
way? Do you see
somebody
with a nice car or house? And
no, I don't. But me and you don't represent most people. Like that's actually how people think about these things. Like I would say the major part of society thinks like that. And also, I do also understand that your image, okay, your self image, your ego, your gaining respect is actually the main driver for what most people do. You know what I mean? Like the reason why we get jobs, the reason why we study, the reason why we wear clothes, the reason why, I don't know, we comb our hair, the reason why we shower. You know, a lot of it doesn't go to needs like it doesn't even go to. We have some basic needs like food, sex, and security. But once you have that, the vast majority of your actions throughout the day is dictated based on preserving an image that you want to portray to society. Right.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just feel like that's a poor motivation to become a doctor, right? Or to become an airplane mechanic. Like the reason that you do this is just so that other people look at you and go, "Hey, that guy's killing it." You know, that just seems.
I mean, we are social animals, so we have very social needs. We are like as an animal.
But how are your social needs not being met? If you're an airplane mechanic, you're being paid much higher than probably most of your friends. Bro, take them to a bar and just throw money around. That, I mean, like, but that's not even about respect again. It's just like that's just a fun time of us all getting really wasted. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I just don't get it. I don't feel that way. Maybe that's why I don't pay attention to this guy. Maybe because like if I ever saw some fucking video from him where he's like, "You want real respect? You gotta crush bitches and you gotta drive cars," I'd just be like, "Well, I guess I don't want real respect then." Like,
okay, but let's go into the framework of respect being important. Like let's try to see it from that perspective. Okay. But if you were respecting people, okay, like if somebody scared you into behaving like you respect them, would you call that genuine? Would you call that genuine respect?
Absolutely not. No, totally agree with you on that. Yeah, 100%. Fear is not respect. Respect is something that is truly freely given. I give you respect because you have engaged with me in a way that it has been earned, right? It's not like, oh no, I have to respect. Yeah, I mean, I totally with you there. So, but yeah,
here's a major problem with what you're saying. So Islam is the most feared, okay? But Islam is not the most respected. In fact, because of the fear,
right,
it is disrespected. People see that as a problem. People see that as people look at Islam, and because it is feared, they mock it. They speak badly of it. The main problem with Islamic PR right now is that it's feared, that it uses fear as a tactic. So look and also this fear that he himself is like valuing this fear people have for Islam. Do you know what that means? How did Islam become the most feared? How has Islam managed to become the most feared religion right now? It is through violence. No, it's violence. It is violence. So if you are putting a value, so here's a philosophy. I chose to fight evil. Okay, evil is bad. So the counter to that is God. The counter to evil is God. So I have to pick a religion. I want to pick a religion that fights evil the best. So which religion fights the evil the best? The religion that most people abide by because it is respected. Which religion and how is a religion respected? Islam is respected the most because it is feared. Okay, well, how Islam managed to gain that fear? If fear is respect for you, how did Islam manage to gain that fear? Through violence, through threats of violence. So you see how he argued him. So for fighting evil, he has argued himself into accepting the religion that commits the most violence and uses threats of violence the most. You see how upside down this is? You are trying to fight evil, and now you're endorsing violence. I don't know if he understands that's what he's doing, but that's how Islam got to be feared. It is through violence. It is through threats of violence. How else? Why else would Islam be feared? I mean, he must understand this, because on Twitter, when people were tearing apart the Bible, okay, he challenged him. He was like, there were a whole bunch of Satanists on Twitter who were tearing apart the Bible, and he came and mocked. And he was like, "Oh, if you dare do that with the Quran, right?" Because he understands that people are afraid of doing that with the Quran, and we and many other people responded to that challenge, and we started tearing apart the Quran in response, right? Because we don't want Islam to succeed in using fear tactics. And by the way, I got blocked by Andrew Tate because of that. Did you know that? Yeah. Andrew Tate,
big strong man blocking you on Twitter.
Yeah. So on Twitter, Andrew Tate challenged people to tear up the Quran if they dare so, and we were like, okay, here it is, and we responded, and I got blocked. I'm like, okay, so it completely backfired on him, that challenge. But my point is that if he's saying that, if he said he understands that people are scared of tearing up the Quran the same way that those Satanists did it with the Bible, why do you think they are afraid, Andrew? Why do you think people are afraid? Because of the consequences. And what are those consequences? It's violence. They are afraid of violence. Do you understand that when you are respecting that, you are endorsing violence? You are endorsing, like, I tore up the Quran. So if somebody comes and finds me and kills me because of that, you are endorsing that, Andrew Tate, because that is how you got the fear.
I don't think he would be upset with that, though. I really don't. I just, from things I've heard him say, I don't think if you actually got him to understand that what he was doing was encouraging violence against people, I don't know that he would say that is bad, right? I don't think he would label that evil. I think he would call that fighting evil.
No, that's actually a contradiction, because he would say, like, I don't think people should be killed. I don't think he says that.
Oh, he has said that. Oh, geez. Yeah,
okay. But that's a contradiction. Well, Andrew, where do you think the fear comes from?
Right, now I don't know.
I don't think he has connected the dots in his head. Like, oh yeah, that's bad. People shouldn't be killed for their beliefs and stuff like that. How are you going to instill the fear that you admire so much? I don't think he understands the contradictions in his views.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah. Susanna is saying, it's so funny because Muslims in the West have been trying to move away and distance themselves from that fear and violence for several decades now. And this, exactly, Susanna. And Andrew Tate is now reversing that trend. Because a lot of Muslims, liberal, moderate Muslims in the West, have been trying to whitewash Islam and basically clean that violent part out of it. And now we have a new generation of young Muslims who are like seeing Andrew Tate being so proud of people fearing Islam. And a lot of young Muslims are like, that is pretty badass, isn't it? That is pretty badass that people are not afraid of criticizing Christianity or of insulting Christianity, but they're afraid of criticizing Islam. And because these are young macho men that are trying, like, strength and being macho is such a major value to them, they're like, you know what? We shouldn't shy away from that intimidating part of Islam. So that the trend in the West on trying to make Islam seem more friendly, Andrew Tate is just having a major effect in trying to, like, reversing that a little bit.
Do you think that's going to lead to some more anti-Muslim bigotry? Like, because that makes me worried that we're going to start seeing more of, like, the far right, people who love to just hate Muslims whenever they can. Like,
it's so weird because far right people. Okay, so this is it's a mix of so many things, because now far right people are loving this and are welcoming this. They're like, okay, these are some people who are homophobic and transphobic in the proper way, and also are into traditional gender roles, for women and stuff like that. So there's a very mix of love-hate relationship. So there are many people on the far right that are opening the door to conservative Muslims and be like, okay, well, we seem to be more alike than I thought. Let's work together. But there's also now some other people who are like, oh, see, we told you these people are, violent, or like, it's weird. Like it's those lines are not that very clear anymore, right? We have a lot of more progressive people who are like, wait, Islam says this now they're being not just anti-Islam, but some of them are now becoming anti-Muslim bigots as well. Like, okay, where
too far. Like it's too far. Like,
we're anti-Islam, we're not anti-Muslim,
right,
but I'm seeing some people I'm seeing some woke people that are actually turning into bigots. It's so weird. Like everything is mixed now. Like those traditional lines that we have had, that the right thinks this and the left thinks this, it's now, all of that is now up in the air. It's like all over the place, right? But let's continue.
Yeah. It's all confusing.
And then also, I'd like to think,
I would say it's the most fear.
Yeah, it's the most fear. But what is respect without fear?
Respect. What is respect? It's respect. Respect without fear is respect. Like that's.
Wait a minute. Okay, what if respect without fear? So here's the thing. Andrew Tate constantly says that your woman needs to respect you. Are you saying, Andrew Tate, if you say what is respect without fear, and you're saying that your women should need to respect you, like you are not a real man if your woman doesn't respect you, and you're saying respect does not, we don't have respect without fear, are you admitting that your woman need to fear you? Is that the type of relationship you have with the woman in your life, Andrew Tate, that they fear you? If respect means fear? What does that even mean? My dad, for example, is a doctor, okay, and is respected by many people in his field. But I'm pretty sure they're not scared of my dad, right? Like, what does that mean? Like, what if you're an academic and you have published many, like, noteworthy articles and people respect you in that field? Dude, are they afraid of you?
They're afraid of your next article. That's right. They're scared.
What is respect without fear? It's respect, Andrew. It's respect. It's the opposite of what you're saying. What is respect with fear? Respect with fear, it's an attempt. It's a desperate attempt to look like respect. It's not even real respect.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just fear. It's just fear.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
That would be like saying like love. What is love without fear? It's like, well, it's love. That's the whole point. Like that's why we have different terms for these things.
Well, he doesn't believe in love. He believes that your woman needs to respect you.
Well, fuck me, Armin, I guess. I don't know why I thought this guy would believe in love. He talks about fighting evil, but hey, whatever. Okay, let's see what else.
Yeah, I know, right? Like this guy's like, you guys, if you don't believe in God, you're on the side of evil. Meanwhile, he's promoting violence and he's anti-love. Okay, like you're the evil.
Fear me to respect me. Don't get love from your partners. Get respect through fear. It's really confusing. I don't know how anybody thinks this guy is intelligent, but
yeah.
Okay.
Do we respect men we don't fear? If there's a man who could do absolutely nothing to you on any level at all, you might be nice to him, sure, because we're not bad people. But would you really respect him?
But wait, you would have to be a bad person, because what he was just saying earlier, like if you're good at all, then you fight the bad people. So Armin, this doesn't make any sense. He's not making any sense. Okay. Say what you have to say. I'm confused. I'm just losing. I'm sorry. It's just
that was a direct endorsement of threats of violence.
Yes,
that was a direct endorsement of threats of violence. He's like, he said, like, do you fear a man that can't do anything to you? Okay, well, here's the thing, Andrew Tate. Why should I respect you? What can you do to me? Can you do? Like, come at me, Andrew. Can Andrew Tate do anything to me? I believe that there's absolutely nothing Andrew Tate can do to me. Okay? There's absolutely nothing. Come at me. I challenge Andrew Tate. What can you do to me? There's nothing you can do to. Why should I respect him then? Guys, not just me, like all of you in the live chat. None of you guys, not anybody who's watching us, Andrew Tate can do nothing to you. There's nothing in the world that he can do. He's no threat to you. So why would you respect him? According to himself, he can't save himself even. Oh my God! Look at this endorsement of violence. Look at.
Sure, because we're not bad people. Absolutely nothing to you.
Yeah.
Do we respect men we don't fear? But there's a man who could do absolutely nothing to you on any level at all. You might be nice to him.
What Andrew Tate is now in a position that he can't do anything to almost anybody. Andrew Tate, he's no threat to anybody. So he should be. He's less of a threat to people, to actual people physically, than a free man, because he's under house arrest. Like, oh, what can you, Andrew Tate, do? You're under house arrest, Andrew Tate. You can't do things to people, so you can't do anything. Come at me, bro. Come at me. What are you gonna do? What the hell?
He literally sounds like one of those like after school specials, you know, where it's like supposed to teach kids a lesson, and there's like this one bully who's just like, he's just like the dumbest kid out there and stuff. It's just like he sounds like somebody wrote this person for like a bad TV show, you know? Like he doesn't seem real, because the stuff he says is just either so insanely stupid or just so messed up and weird that it's just like, why would a grown man say that, you know? Yeah, he does that. He self-snitches all the time. Yeah.
But this again, this is such a self-report as well. This is I don't know if you understand that he's endorsing violence here. I don't know if his brain works hard enough to be able to understand that this is an endorsement of threats of violence.
I don't know.
Sure, we're not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing to you on any level at all. You might be nice to him, sure, because we're not bad people. But would you really respect him? If you could take his chick in front of his face, set his car on fire, and he wouldn't do a thing, you wouldn't respect him. You might be nice to him because we're not bullies, but you wouldn't respect him. Respect and fear are linked.
If you
take his chick and set his car on fire in front of his face, and he can't do anything, do you respect him?
I think that's obvious that that's not respectful. Am I just wrong on that, Armin? Do I just have no understanding of what respect means? I thought I understood this word, but I'm becoming more. I think this is what he does, Armin. Is he just sits in front of a camera and just says stupid shit for just like an hour straight. And then eventually people listening to him are just like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. And so they just like agree with him and move on just so that he shuts up, you know? I'm so confused.
Let's say, for example, you find somebody that plays the violin amazingly, okay, and he's like a world-renowned violinist, okay, and people are like, oh my God, mad respect. Look at this person. Like people admire him and respect him, okay. But Andrew Tate like, no. If I could set his car on fire and he can't do anything about it, why would you respect him? Like, what can he do with his violin? Is he going to be able to threaten you with his violin? No. I could set this man's car on fire and get away with it. So we don't respect the man. He might be a world-renowned violinist, but that doesn't earn him any respect because I can set his car on fire.
I just don't understand.
What are you talking about? Like this guy is like a role model. People are seriously listening to this. I'm like, yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Basing their lives on what this guy says. I know. Why would that be? That wouldn't even be in the top 5 things for me. If it was like, hey, you just come across this person, you've never met them in your life. Like, do you respect them? Like, not even in the top 100 things would it be, well, can I set this guy's car on fire and take his chick right in front of him? Like that. It's so weird. Like, that's true. The toxicity will probably always continue to morph and try to stay relevant. But
yeah.
This
also,
is why
Susanna has a good point too.
Oh yeah. His charisma carries the audience through the nonsense. This is classic cult leader trait. It is. That totally is. Yeah. I don't know if like the rest of everything that he does has that kind of cultish, you know, kind of mindset to it, but even if it doesn't, like, he is displaying, I think, almost all of, you know, the tactics of a cult leader. Like, just talk confidently enough, and then people will agree with you. So,
yeah. All right, let's continue.
They're not always the same thing, and you can maybe have fear without respect, but it's very hard to have respect without fear.
Oh my God!
Wait.
It's the other way around. Yeah.
He said you can have fear without respect, but you can't have respect without fear. Is that what he just said?
Yeah. So basically, without fear, there's no respect. You can't imagine respect without fear. Listen to this again.
They're not always the same thing, and you can maybe have fear without respect, but it's very hard to have respect without fear.
Most respect in the world. I mean, oh my God. Guys, can you please imagine, everybody listening to us, can you imagine some people that you respect in your life and then list them in your head and then ask yourself, do I fear them? Do I fear them?
None of them. None of them. None of them.
Oh my God.
None of them. Huh.
Oh, Newman has a very good point. Newman, with the super chat. Thank you again, Newman, for the support. He's saying he's just self-projecting. I think he is just dumb. I do think that maybe because this is a man that is starved, like desperate, very desperate for respect, right? And he wants to be such an alpha male. Maybe there is some, projecting that. But again, it's still no. I don't understand that, because again, who fears Andrew Tate? I mean, even when it comes to himself, the people who respect him, Andrew Tate is respected by a lot of people. Okay? But I would bet the vast majority, I would say maybe all of the people who respect Andrew Tate, all the cult following that they have, they don't actually fear him.
Why would they? Right, that would be so weird. Why would they
fear Andrew Tate? That's so strange. He's saying something that doesn't even apply to his own fans.
Right,
guys. If you are a fan of Andrew Tate, can you explain to me if you fear him, and if you do fear him, why? What can this man?
Definitely want an answer to that part.
Yeah.
Why would you fear him? Why would you be afraid of him? I don't understand.
I would actually say the people who do fear Andrew Tate are the people who don't respect him, and the people who respect Andrew Tate are the people who don't fear him. Because here's the threat that Andrew Tate is. Okay, he's a threat to society. He's spreading toxic viewpoints among young men, which is dangerous to our future. Anybody who believes what I just said doesn't respect Andrew Tate. The people who see Andrew Tate as a threat and therefore fear him are the people who don't respect Andrew Tate. But the people who respect Andrew Tate are his fans who don't think he's a threat. So who do not fear Andrew Tate. So the people who respect Andrew Tate do not fear him.
I'm starting to understand why Ali Dawa and Andrew Tate are as close as they are. Because they're both very obviously unintelligent. They both don't seem to think much about what they say. And I kind of just feel like, they feel good just bouncing shit off of each other. But yeah, I don't know. I'm so confused. Oh,
I want to go ask people, like, I think Daniel Hairaju, for example, like, he respects Andrew Tate, right?
Sure, but he doesn't fear him.
Yeah, I want to go ask Daniel Hairaju and Ali Dava and Muhammad Hijab, right? Or like the Smile to Jannah guy. Like, do you guys fear Andrew Tate? Do you guys fear Andrew Tate? Yeah.
It's just really weird. I just don't understand.
Susanna is saying it's sad because there are so many amazing men like David Goggins that escaped that abusive cycle of fear equals respect and are total badasses and figures and figures in their community. Yes, guys. Like, if you guys want role models, male, because here's the thing: a lot of unfortunately, some people on the left, some progressives don't understand how important male role models are in society for young men. Okay, this is a major area of lacking among leftists, right? But if you want like better role models, like look into David Goggins, because they understand that fear and respect are not the same thing, and they have left that abusive cycle, as Susanna's putting it. Yeah. So yeah, that is an abusive cycle to think like to earn respect. To earn respect, you have to make people fear you. That is toxic. That, you know, if people are, when they talk about toxic masculinity, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
To tell young men that to be respected, you have to make people fear you. That is the very center. That is the foundation of what toxic masculinity is about. Right?
Yeah.
Again, but also please understand that toxic masculinity doesn't mean that masculinity is bad. When you say toxic masculinity, you're basically acknowledging that there are good versions of masculinity. We're not anti-masculinity. We're against toxic masculinity.
This is
what
not a good This is not a good version of masculinity.
Masculinity, yes, exactly.
Right.
So let's continue.
And also, I heard someone say once that we see the world as we see ourselves. If you're a thief, you think everyone's a thief. If you're a liar, you think everyone's a liar. And I kind of agree with that. I understood that.
So does he think everybody's a pimp? Does he look at if that's how he looks at the world, does he think everybody's a pimp? I'm just wondering here. That's fascinating view of the world, Andrew. I keep going. It came to me.
I kind of agree with that. I understood that. I also like to think we see religion as we see ourselves. I like to see myself as a person whose respect you have to earn. I like to see myself as a person who has strong, rigid boundaries. I like to see myself as a person who will stand up and say, no, that's wrong. I like to see myself as a person who's not afraid of being shamed by whatever community for saying, I don't agree with that particular ideal. I like seeing myself that way. So if I'm going to see myself that way, then I'm going to naturally align with a religion that operates within that form. So when I say,
so again, like, look, this is another problematic Islamic video. If I was a conservative Muslim, I would look at this. I would like, I don't like this at all. Okay. Yeah. Because he's talking about religion as if it's like like fashion. You know what I mean? Like, it's like based on your taste. Like, I look at my personality, I try different religions on, like, oh, this doesn't fit me, this doesn't feel weird, and you just pick and choose as if you're shopping. You know what I mean? Not as if this is the ultimate reality. This is what the foundation of what is good in the world. You know, this Allah is the reality of things, and you are meant, the main purpose of the entirety of the human race, everybody, is to serve and worship Allah. That's not what you're saying. You're like, you know, I looked at, you know, it's like a mirror. You're like looking at it like, okay, this is, yeah, this fits this fits my personality, right? You know, that's, you know, you're treating it like fashion. That's what you're treating Islam like. That's not what it's supposed to be like. You're going.
If people started fearing Hindutva more than Islam, would he convert? That's what I want to know. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah. This is what happens when you have a shitty method for determining what's true in the world, you guys. This is what happens. You start having all of these nonsensical, contradictory beliefs at the same time. And that's why I'm so confused listening to him, is because it's just like, it just feels like every other sentence out of his mouth just kind of goes against something he just said. I don't know.
You know, people feared Hitler.
Then they respected him by Andrew Tate's logic.
I mean, I don't know when it comes to his value system, where would that man be in his, like, you know, but that was a guy that was feared a lot, you know. So I don't know if you
Stalin
value that too. Yeah. So okay.
Islam is the last religion on earth. I say it because it seems to be the only one who will stand up and say, no, we don't care. No, that's not what the book says. No. I was raised Christian, and Muslims as a whole, we have no problems with Christians. None at all. I don't want anyone to think I'm anti-Christian, like I dislike Christians. We don't have a problem with Christians. We believe in a lot of the same things. We believe in Jesus. We put more respect on the name of Jesus than most Christians do.
But wait a minute. But as a Muslim, you're supposed to think that they are all wrong. Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely have a problem with Christians.
you have a problem with Christians. You just because you have a problem with Christians, as in they think Jesus is the Son of God. So you Islamically, you revere Jesus as a prophet of God, but you have absolutely a problem with Christians because they think they are doing the most evil thing Islamically, according to Islamic standards, which is shirk, which is associating partners with Allah, mentioning a human being, which is supposed to be Islamically a prophet of God, calling that person God is the greatest sin that you could do Islamically. So there's absolutely a problem with Christianity and Christians in Islam. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, also, Islamically, you believe that Christians will burn in hell forever. That is the Islamic viewpoint. I mean, does he not know this? These are the basics. These are the foundational basic beliefs of Islam. Like he has no clue what he's talking about. He has no clue what he's talking about.
I just don't understand how there are so many Muslims right now pointing to this man as somebody that is, you know, a good role model and communicator of their religion. Like disregard the fact that I think Islam is terrible. Like disregard that, okay? I think it's totally not true. I think it's bad. Disregard that. But like this guy doesn't even represent what it means to be Islamic.
Well, here's how they I will tell you how they defend him, the people who are trying to defend him, and I will tell you why this defense doesn't make any sense. Okay, they will say, well, he's not an Islamic scholar, okay, and he's a new convert, so cut him some slacks. He's just like new to this.
Cut him some slack.
But here's my counter. How long has he been a Muslim for? This is so foundational.
Right.
The understanding, the concept of Tawheed and the oneness of God and the requirement that you believe in Allah as the objective reality and the idea of a human, like not being able to be a God, like Christians believing that Jesus is God, to be that completely counter to the foundations of Islamic belief. This is Islamic 101. This is what you should be understanding on day 5. Maybe this is like, I mean, if you spend any time in studying Islam, you should have been way, way, way past this. You don't need to be an Islamic scholar to understand this. This is the first thing you learn. Right. The concept of Tawheed is the most important thing within Islamic ideology. And so far, you have been saying first with saying that, you know, Allah is a concept, that it has utility to you, acknowledging a god of an island that you just made up as equally real. And now you're saying Christians, you have no problem with Christians. Everything you say shows that you do not believe, you do not understand the most important fundamental Islamic belief, which is Tawheed, which is the oneness of God, believing in the oneness of God. So you cut him up some slack. He's completely out of the fold of Islam. He doesn't even understand the most important part of Islam.
Right.
This is not something this is something that Muslims understand, even the ones that are not scholars. Go talk to other new converts. They understand this. Like, he's been in jail, and he's in jail. He has nothing to do but study Islam. He says that he reads the Quran and Islam in jail. How have you not still been? Yeah,
how figured it out by now?
He should have figured it out by now.
It's not that big of a book. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Okay, here's a better defense. He's a better defense for Andrew Tate, okay? You want to cut him some slack? Say this. He doesn't seem that smart, okay? Say that, okay? Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's cut him some slack. He's a moron. He's not that. It's not all up there. I think that's a better defense of Andrew Tate.
Yeah. No, brothers. Trust me. Very devout Muslim he is. He's also just kind of dumb, you know. So
he's just a bit stupid. Okay, come on, guys. Okay. Yeah. I think like here, Susanna saying, I think I might be a better, more informed Muslim than Tate. Yeah, I think like Susanna and Secular Rarity. I think you are more knowledgeable in Islam than Andrew Tate is, and you're not even Muslim.
No,
Susanna
is
a Muslim though, so Yeah.
I might take my shahada after this, though. If this is, if this is it, right? I mean, I want that respect through fear. That's what I'm going for in life. So that's true.
Yeah.
Secret
Susanna. Yeah, Susanna is a secret Shia, so that makes a lot of sense. Okay.
I just don't like the idea of people saying they're a Christian and saying, but because I'm a Christian, I can do whatever I want and throw all the rules away and none of it matters. Because once you have that level of tolerance, you no longer have a religion.
What?
Islam seems to be the last religion.
Who's going out and saying that on a regular basis as a Christian? Especially somebody who is like a Christian apologist, who's like a face, speaking for Christianity. I don't know anybody that says that. That's like a poor straw man of an atheist argument against salvation and Christianity. Yeah. That's just a really weird. He doesn't know anything about the other religions either, does he? I don't know why I thought he might. I thought he might have had some knowledge on Christianity or something, but all right. Let's
I just don't like the idea of people saying they're a Christian and saying, but because I'm a Christian, I can do whatever I want and throw all the rules away and none of it matters. Because once you have that level of tolerance, you no longer have a religion. Islam seems to be the last religion left with parameters. If you don't have parameters, you don't have a religion at all. So the closer I found myself to
that guy is just as confused as I am. Just go back to this face.
None at all. I want anyone to think I'm anti-Christian, like I dislike on the name of Jesus, than most Christians do. I just don't like the idea of people saying they're a Christian and saying, but because I'm a Christian, I can do whatever I want and throw all the rules away and none of it matters. Because once you have that level of tolerance, you no longer have a religion. Islam seems to be the last religion left with parameters. If you don't have parameters, you don't have a religion at all.
This guy is so pathetic. This guy who's taking all of this seriously. You know what I mean? But you know why? Because what's this guy's name? I forgot his name. You guys, I forgot what his name is. Okay. But this guy is Iranian, right? And I don't know, him and his family and everything, they escaped Iran or whatever. I don't forget. Oh. But this is a man that Islam has destroyed the lives of his fellow countrymen, and he's against the Islamic Republic, and he completely acknowledges how his country was destroyed because of the Islamic Republic, right? And now this very same ideology that he acknowledges that ruined the people of his country, that ruined the lives of the people of his country, because of clout, because of people like Andrew Tate, because of this now becoming the popular thing to be, Islam is now the hip, the new trendy thing to be in favor of, as like a red pill, kind of right-leaning content creator. Now he's changing all this. Like, he used to be anti-Islamic, speak about Islam in a negative way, but now because this is the new trend, he's jumping on that bandwagon.
Really?
The very same person. Yeah. And he's like acknowledging, like, oh yeah, maybe Islam, I understand that. I get that.
From Tate?
Podcast.
From the stuff that Andrew Tate has said? That's insane.
Yeah.
How would he be persuaded by that? There's just...
Yeah. Oh yeah, his name is Patrick Bet David. That's what his name is. And he's Iranian.
On the, Armin, most days I feel good about the progress, of society around the globe. And I think we are getting better when it comes to our epistemology. But then I just, you show me these videos. So I don't know.
Sorry.
I don't know. It's cool. Yeah. It's fine. It's just, just thinking that the world is just getting worse now and just feeling depressed. Okay. All right. Keep going.
So the closer I found myself to God, the closer I found myself to Islam. That's just how it ended.
And Andrew,
that's so stupid. That's just so stupid on so many levels. Because again, remember how he started all of this was by saying that there is evil in the world. Now, didn't tell us what that evil was, but just that it exists. And then from fighting evil, equaling there has to be a God in a conceptual format, but not in real life. From that, he went to, I want respect, and I get that through fear and intimidation. Islam does that, therefore, like this is so weird. This is so weird. I don't know how an adult does that. I don't know how an adult goes through those steps and then gets to where they are and thinks, this was a good choice on my part. Like, I really did a good job here. I did a good job here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I found myself to Islam. That's just how it ended.
And Andrew, speaking of fear, one could argue that Islam these days, certainly in the last 20 years with the war on terror, they've also been the most vilified.
Absolutely.
Right? So, everything that we've seen happen with extremism and everything that's going on all over the world. How are you grappling with that? You've been a Christian for years now. Islam, everything.
And you know what? That's such an interesting question, because when I was younger, especially when I was an atheist, I would sit and think, people are really doing terror attacks and doing all this crazy stuff because they're upset over a cartoon. That's so stupid. And nobody should kill anybody. Nobody should kill anybody.
Charlie Hebdo, everything.
Nobody should kill anybody. Nobody should.
See, nobody should kill anybody. Okay, Andrew, do you understand that that's how they managed to get that fear that you think that is equal to respect? Like, nobody should when he's like, no, over this cartoon, I don't understand why people would kill somebody over a cartoon or something. Well, how else do you think they got that fear? I don't know if you understand. I don't think he's putting two and two together. I don't think he's connecting the dots.
No, he's clearly not. No, he's clearly not. Because again, just the last 5 minutes of him talking, and then he just very casually, just as if like, oh yeah, of course, we all knew that I would agree with this. Like, of course, people shouldn't be killed. Like, but bro, you've been advocating for it, basically. Like, you didn't say the words, but essentially what you said is Islam's better than the rest of religions because people respect Islam, and the reason they respect Islam is because of fear through intimidation and threats on people's lives. Like, that's
how it works. Like, if it why would be like, imagine if Islam was a religion that nobody was not advocating for killing anybody. Okay, now make me fear you then. I challenge them. What would I be afraid of then if you didn't have that? I did yeah. Okay.
This is what I'm saying. I'm getting frustrated, and the reason that I'm getting frustrated is honestly just because it's so nonsensical. I just almost feel like I'm having a conversation with somebody who's having a stroke, because it's like the words that you're saying just. Like, all the words that you're saying are real words. It's just that when you put them together, they don't mean anything. And if they do mean something, it's literally contradictory to either what you just said or what you're about to say. Like,
Newman has a point. Maybe there could be something in Islam where they jump out and say, "Boo!"
Oh my gosh! Is that what the hijab was supposed to be? You were supposed to take it off, be like, "Haha, I gotcha!" Like, boo!
Yeah. Somebody do that to Andrew Tate. Somebody sneak in and be like, "Ah!" and then make him go, "Ah!" Like, "Ah, you respect me. I made you fear me. I earned your respect."
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Go in, scare Andrew Tate real quick, and then be like, "Haha, I got your respect, bitch." That's so weird. Oh my god, man. Okay.
Nobody should kill anybody.
What?
How much more of this do we have? Do you know when he's done talking about this law?
Okay. Let's interrupt him less often so we could go through the last.
Okay.
We have 3 minutes. Okay. Let's
Let's do it. They're upset over a cartoon. That's so stupid. And nobody should kill anybody. Nobody should kill anybody.
Charlie Hebdo, everything.
Nobody should kill anybody. Nobody should kill anybody. I'll make that very clear.
That's against Islamic teaching. Islamic teaching very explicitly tells you the people who you're supposed to kill based on what actions they have committed or based on even their beliefs. So when you say nobody should kill anybody, that is completely against Islamic teaching. Okay, so let's continue.
But also, part of me is now saying, why would you want to insult the Prophet for billions of people? Why would you want to do that?
But this is
victim blaming. this is victim blaming. You're like, hey, I don't think anybody should be killed, but whenever you say but, you know, this is kind of like, now you're victim blaming. You're victim blaming.
You're basically carving out a space for the exception of the rule that you just laid out. That's literally what you're doing. You're straight up just being like, hey, like, nobody should do this. But I mean, in this one instance, you know, it seems okay. Like, yeah. He's right, though. You're right, Kenny. Someone did not read their holy book.
Yeah, Kenny's saying nobody should kill anybody. Yeah, somebody didn't read their holy book. Hey, why is this not working? Hold on. Let me show you. Andrew Tate, I want to show you images of Andrew Tate reading the Quran. Hold on, this is it. Yeah, look at this. So a lot of people didn't like this picture of Andrew Tate reading the Quran because he's like, he's naked. And then I was like, look, people are saying, one request, please read it with proper dress. But also a lot of people didn't like it because he put the Quran on his crotch. You know, he put it like the Quran is basically touching his dick. Yeah. And a lot of people find that very disrespectful. But like, I don't know which part of the Quran he's reading, but there are very direct verses in the Quran telling you not only to just kill people, but also to crucify them. So I hope you get to that chapter, because what you're teaching right now here, a lot of conservative Muslims have to address that. Like, this is conservative Muslim, like, yeah, no, we do this. I mean,
we do want that, Andrew. We do want that.
Yeah, I mean, even moderate Muslims, even moderate liberal Muslims will be like, well, we do have capital punishment. Like, maybe we're not like they don't believe like terrorism. Maybe Islam, some people who defend Islam, they say like Islam does have violence, but it has justified violence. It has violence like in the right places. It's not like as crazy as you atheists or make it seem like.
Sure.
Like we have but we have to have some certain punishments. You know, in the United States, we have the capital punishment for treason. It's similar to that. But even they acknowledge that Islam teaches you to kill. Like, it's not that is empty of the order of killing. That is in there. That is in Islam. Right. Again, he doesn't have the basic understanding of Islamic teaching.
Also, who took that picture? Like, did his brother because look, like, it's clearly not a selfie. So, like, did he just set up a tripod to just take this picture? Or did, like, somebody close to him just, like, walk into his room casually and then be like, wow, let me frame this perfectly? And then
you're right. This is, like, all the way.
It's totally staged. Like, this is completely unrealistic, in my opinion. Because
this is all the way from the rooftop.
Yeah, like, this is absurd. This is just
from the ceiling. Like,
yeah, this is clearly just him doing something to try to get some cred, right? But this is the thought that I had right before that. But then I thought that and was like, oh my gosh, yeah, like, this is just totally fucking staged, dude. Like, it doesn't even look close to real. Like, who gets a picture taken of them reading a book like that? Seriously, like, that doesn't make any sense. But isn't he potentially causing Muslim women to sin right there? And aren't those sins on his head? Like, isn't that correct? Like, wouldn't he be causing some Muslim women to sin by seeing that picture?
Yes.
Right?
No, that's the whole problem. That, like, he's not covering his aura. So he's not, like, we have a hijab is not just for men, women. Hijab is also for men in Islam. And he's supposed to cover up. This is why a lot of people were like, dude, like, you can't send out. So he's committing 2 sins, right? 3, okay? First of all, the Quran is touching his dick, right? 2, when you read the Quran, you have to dress up properly and be more respectful. 3, even without the Quran, releasing a picture of like that of yourself on the internet is going to make women horny, and you need to cover up, basically. So that's also another sin.
I'm going to be honest, Armin. Until today, I've never had this thought, but I think when I get off stream tonight, I'm going to go find my Bible and put it on my dick just to see, just in case, just to see what happens. I don't know. Maybe lightning hits me right there, but I don't know. We'll see.
Be careful with that. You might develop a new kink that you're not proud of. Like, I don't know. Like,
you know what? I will gladly update the AR community as this changes. You guys just wait around for that. Sorry. Okay, keep going. We're so close.
Oh, wait. We got a super chat by Gagin American saying, our holy books just steal each other's gods, and I don't know what that is.
Bodhisattvas.
I'm not going to read that.
Yeah.
Bodhisattvas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So a lot less casualties. Oh, okay. So Gagin American just bragging about Eastern religions. Okay.
He does.
Okay, I got an amazing compliment. I want to read this. Picky Butt is saying, these people are so beneath you in emotional intelligence. It's unmeasurable. Thank you. Picky Butt is saying that to me. Oh, well, that's amazing compliment I got. Wow.
Very
okay.
Nice.
And also Gagin American saying, he's causing me to sin. That's a lot of leg hair. Okay. So
look away.
Yeah, lower your gaze, brother. Gagin American saying, it is a bigger sin if Tate got me to sin. Yes, because you're right. You look, Tate, you got a gay man to lust over your legs. That is a sin. Amen. That's even a bigger sin than getting women to lust over you.
Does lust?
But also, Gagin American, you have bad taste. If you're lusting over Andrew Tate, I have
you can do better.
Your standards.
Yeah.
You could do better. You
can totally do better.
Yeah.
Does lust lead to respect too, or it's just fear for Andrew?
No, it's fear. It's fear.
Just fear.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. like lower your so that's
they're too high.
Okay, let's continue.
Want to insult the prophet?
Yeah. So also here's a question. He's asking, why would you want to insult the prophet of billions of people? Okay,
because you're intimidating me to not. That seems like a good reason.
Exactly. Hey, this is a language that Andrew Tate. Let's listen to this claim and let's explain this to Andrew Tate like he's a child, okay? Because he often is. But listen to his question, and it says he's asking, why would people want to insult a prophet?
So, and nobody should kill him. Nobody should kill anybody.
Charlie Hebdo, everything.
Nobody should kill anybody. Nobody should kill anybody. I'll make that very clear. But also, part of me is now saying, why would you want to insult the prophet for billions of people? Why would you want to do that? I don't want to make the argument against free speech. I'm not even saying you couldn't be allowed to. This is a sensitive subject. I'm just saying, what kind of person wakes up and thinks, I want to do that?
The kind of person that doesn't want to let intimidation tactics work. And you should understand this, Andrew Tate. This is at least an area of your expertise. Okay? When you are threatened, when somebody is trying to intimidate you, if you submit to that, then they will continue. Then that tactic will work. You are signaling to them that their threats are giving you the results that they intended for. And you should, if you want to win that fight, if you want that to backfire when you are being threatened out of saying something, you need to say that thing more. You have to do that thing more. If you are such an alpha male, Andrew Tate, I think you should have understand this.
Right?
You are a person who's like acts like you say when people are trying to intimidate you and make you fear, make you submit. What do you do in the face of people who are trying to make you bend the knee? You stand up. You stand up and you say no. You say fuck you. That's why you insult the prophet. Because you say no to bullies. They are bullies. When people are trying to threaten you with violence and laws and intimidation to silence you, to make you submit to their rules, it's their religion. You are not in that religion, and they are trying to make you abide by their rules. Like, I am not part of your religion. You have to understand that you cannot enforce your rules on me. And if they try to do that with force, then it has to backfire 1,000 times.
Yeah.
We have to stand up and say, no, we insult the Prophet not to make Muslims upset. This is what he doesn't understand. If there was no threats, if there was no violence, then yes, it would be sadistic to go insult the Prophet. Why would I want to make people upset? I wouldn't do that. But if you scare me, if you intimidate me, if you try to use violence, Andrew, you're saying this, Andrew Tate, you are saying this right now. Why would people insult the Prophet of 2 billion people? You are saying this on a podcast just a couple of weeks, just a few weeks after 2 men in Iran were hanged slowly to death in Iran for insulting Islam. You know why we insult Muhammad? Do you know why we insult Islam? Because of those 2 Iranians. Those 2 Iranian men who were hanged to death because of it, for them. Because that's fucked up. Because you don't get to do that. Because if you try to scare us by killing people, then we have to do it 1,000 times more so you don't kill more people. So you don't have other victims. We have to show you that you killing those people, it is not going to work. You try to gain respect for Islam by killing 2 innocent men, then we will disrespect it so that you finally get the idea that you're not going to buy anyone's respect or fear with that. No. And if we can normalize insulting your religion every time you do such a thing, maybe you will stop doing it. And again, this motherfucker sitting in front of you, this Iranian motherfucker sitting in front of you should have told you. You're like, you should have told you, right? His fellow countryman, this guy who pretends to be supporting the secular revolution that is happening right now in Iran as we speak, is sitting right in front of you. And when you say, why would people insult my Prophet? Why would people insult Islam? He should have he should have told you to shut the fuck up. He should have told you they just hanged 2 of my countrymen because they insulted Islam. That's why we insult Islam.
Yeah. That's the exact point, honestly. I mean, that it's 100%, man. And it's this is what happens, right? This is what happens when you get an ideology like Islam. When you get these ideologies in your head, is it twists things around to the point that a man who had to flee his home because of threats of violence to himself and family, now he's, well, I don't know. Maybe Islam's okay. Maybe you're right, Andrew Tate. Maybe respect only comes from fear. Yeah, it just this is why Christopher Hitchens said religion poisons everything, is because it does, and it twists people around into thinking somehow the deaths of human beings in public is less bad than making fun of a fictional character. Nonsense.
Yeah. Here. This is why we insult Islam. Okay.
Yeah. This
just happened in May this year. Iran executes 2 Quran burners for blasphemy. And this is exactly what Susanna was saying. This is the courage. This is the kind of courage that earns respect. These people did this inside Iran. These people did this inside Iran. You want respect, Andrew Tate? We don't respect motherfuckers like you because you support bullies. You are supporting the bullies. These people and their courage, this is what earns our respect. You're a coward. You're a coward that wants us to submit to intimidation. Oh, such an alpha male. Such an alpha male. Submit to people who are intimidating us, who are trying to make us. You say fear gains respect? No. Standing up to fear. Standing up to fear. That's what gains you respect. Like these 2. These are the heroes that deserve our respect. Not motherfuckers, not beta males like you who submit to such fucked up thing like such a fucked up thing like Islam. You want to submit? Go submit. But we're not gonna. We're going to stand up to bullies. We're going to stand up to people who threaten us. And fuck your prophet. Fuck your Quran. Fuck Muhammad.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree, man. People like Andrew Tate will never be real men like those people. Plain and simple. You will always be a child wearing your father's clothes, pretending, Andrew. And I don't know. I guess that's the fucking life he wants. That's who he would rather be. So it's disgusting. It's terrible. It's insane.
Okay, let's see what he's saying here.
I'm saying, what kind of person wakes up and thinks, I want to do that? I don't know. I just don't think that's a healthy mindset. Like when I see these Satanists and they're...
By the way, thank you so much, Kenny. Thank you for the support. Yeah.
Especially in America, and they're doing, let's keep it on Christianity. These Satanists, and they're dressing up Jesus as gay and all this stuff. Like, that's not done in any kind of good faith.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit, right? And that's again, it's him telling on himself. It's him saying that he has some problem with people being gay. At his core, he thinks that there's something wrong with that. He has a warped, twisted ideology. And so you can't dress up Jesus as gay in good faith. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense unless what Andrew Tate is saying is he thinks there's something fundamentally wrong with LGBT people. And that is what he's saying. And I know that's what he's saying because he said that before. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because one benefit of just saying Jesus is gay is because it outs homophobic people like you who think being gay and being gay is an insult. Yeah, like you just
why would you insult?
You just out yourself. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, just why would you insult my prophet? Why would you insult my prophet by calling him gay? It's like why? Oh, you're saying being gay is a bad thing. That's what you're
for that. Okay. For you to come and out yourself exactly as the homophobe.
I got
That's
you.
exactly why we do it.
I see you, bro. I see you. It's cool. It's cool.
There's no good reason to do that. That's done with genuinely malicious intention. And
just because you don't understand the intentions doesn't make it so. Yeah, how about you talk to? How about you talk to us? How about you come and ask people like us who insult Islam or the Quran? Maybe have a conversation with them instead of just assuming things. How about that?
I'm honestly not sure he would understand though, Armin. I feel like very quickly you would just try to put the slightest amount of nuance into something. I just don't think he could keep up. It's sad, but I don't know.
Oh no. Oxymoron is saying he's in jail. He's not in jail. He's under house arrest.
But
yeah.
And what kind of people want to do that? And then the answer by extension is, I thought America was a Christian country. So how can you have a Christian?
By the way, did these people travel to Romania to have this interview? Because
I don't know, right? Because if not, then he had to leave Romania, right?
He did. No, he's not allowed to leave Romania. So I'm assuming these
so this happened like while he's been under house arrest. I thought this was like a while ago.
I mean, his house, as I remember, his house looking like an evil den with black walls. That's what I remember. So I do think this might be his house because this is exactly like the evil den I remember that his house looks like.
Okay, just
I don't know exactly.
For everybody out there, okay? I'm not trying to give advice to like the big baddies of the world, but it's a good idea not to design your house or headquarters to look exactly like a James Bond villain's headquarters, okay? Just try a little bit not to be so obvious with it, okay?
Two on the nose, two on the nose. Okay. Good. Okay. Let's continue. Wait, we got a super chat here. Asian American saying it's a secular nation of stolen land and people. Okay, I don't know what this is referring to, but thank you for the super chat.
Andrew said that the U.S. is a Christian nation. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, let's continue. Oh, I see. Okay.
Country where the prophets of the religion are mocked to the highest possible levels within the confines of the country, and it's promoted. Is that a Christian country?
Oh, so saying United States is not a Christian country because you could insult Jesus within those confines of the country, and like there's no pushback against it, right? So
that's just fascinating to me. Would he want people to go to jail for that? What would he prefer as the solution to this? This is what I'm not sure about. Right. What he's describing is a good country. He's saying, yeah, man, there's this one country where you go out there and you say, hey, I think your belief is fucking stupid and dangerous. And then they like put you in jail or kill you. And then there's another country where you can do that. And then they don't put you in jail or kill you. The second country is the better country. Like, that's just clear.
Yeah, I like the way Susanna is phrasing this, because Susanna in the live chat is saying, because we have freedom, bitch. That's the badass thing. It's pathetic if you're so insecure about certain things that people might want to say that you have to put laws to stop them from saying things, right? Andrew Tate thinks that's badass. That's how you gain that fear gains you respect and stuff. But that actually, that's a sign of weakness. That's pathetic. It's actually badass to let people look at us as a country. Look at our freedom, motherfuckers. Look how our people live. We have brought them enough freedom that they get to say anything. That is the badass position. If you value strength, that is a signal. That is a sign of strength.
Yeah.
Not monitoring people's belief, what people are saying, or you said this, I'm going to put you in jail. That is a sign of weakness. That is pathetic.
Right.
Yeah.
And doesn't he advocate for breaking laws anyway? Doesn't he think the laws are problematic? I'm so confused, Armin.
Yeah. Oh, we're stuck in the matrix. I'm going to make you free from the matrix. Oh, you should tell people what to say and put them in jail if they don't say the right things. That sounds like a contradiction. Andrew Tate, you have your own version of the matrix. Let's put laws and enforce people not to say certain things. That is the matrix, Andrew Tate. That is your matrix.
Unbelievable. And doesn't he also advocate that basically, if you reach a certain status of wealth, you don't have to obey the laws either? And isn't he trying to teach men how to attain that status of wealth? I'm just fucking confused, Armin. None of this makes sense. None of this.
Yeah.
He's actively working against himself. It seems like
And Darko in the live chat is saying his whole spiel was, I say whatever I want. That was his. That was what he was advocating. I say whatever I want. This is, Andrew Tate got famous because he was going anti-woke, anti-people who were telling you to say this and don't say that. They'd be that's so pathetic. These people are trying to control what you're saying. But Andrew Tate, they were at least they weren't trying to kill you for it. Okay, they got you. He was these people, if I don't say the right things, I get my account suspended. I get kicked off Facebook and Twitter. Okay, Andrew Tate, that is so bad. And now he's endorsing people who want to kill you for saying the wrong things. They'll kill you for saying, one of them is getting you canceled on social media. The other one is going choppy on your neck. What the hell? Oh my God. Yeah, woke culture is bad because you get canceled for saying the wrong thing. Now I'm endorsing a system who will kill you for saying the wrong thing.
Yeah, unbelievable. Seems like a reasonable correction there, Andrew. Seems like you really hit the middle of the road on this one.
It's so stupid. This is also dumb.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, he's just contradicted himself so many times, and this hasn't even been that long that we've looked at, dude. I'm just baffled as to why anybody thinks he has any level of intelligence or any ability to help them with their problems in life. I just don't know.
Yeah.
So
okay, let's continue.
Doesn't seem like a Christian country to me. I don't think the same thing would happen with Islam in Saudi Arabia. I can't imagine that happening. So how can you say we're a Christian country
Why Islam in Saudi Arabia? What again? He says I don't. He said just a few seconds ago. I don't think it's good to kill people. Okay,
Yeah, don't kill people.
And then it's like I don't think this happens in Saudi Arabia. Yes,
Why?
in Saudi, you're right, Andrew Tate. You're right. You are correct. People mock Jesus in United States. People don't mock Muhammad in Saudi Arabia. Why do you think that is, Andrew Tate? Why do you think people don't mock Muhammad in Saudi Arabia? I wonder.
Does it have to do? Does it have to do with killing? Maybe, Armin? Is that?
I don't know. Oh yeah, you're right. I think so. I think you might have something to do with that. I think you touched it. Yeah.
I seriously would like to, and I feel like this is just. I couldn't do this because it would ultimately be like child abuse, but I would just love to put like a 7-year-old in front of a couple of Andrew Tate videos and just watch the 7-year-old go like, but doesn't he know that doesn't he know that's stupid? Doesn't he know he just said that? Because that's how easy it is to. Go ahead.
You know, I wouldn't trust 7-year-olds as much as you do. Like a lot of young people are like buying this stuff. I think you have too much faith in the capability of the average person. This person is the most popular.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like when I was 7, I could have easily. I don't, and I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal or anything. I'm saying like I'm average at best. Like I don't know, but. All right, we're so close. We're so close to being done with this guy for a week.
Okay. It ends at the 2-hour mark. Wait, let's try.
Saudi Arabia, I can't imagine that. Of the country and it's promoted. Is that a Christian country? Doesn't seem like a Christian country to me. I don't think the same thing would happen with Islam in Saudi Arabia. I can't imagine that happening. So how can you say we're a Christian country, but everyone's mocking our God on the streets? Ha ha ha. It's on Netflix. Ha ha ha. That's not a Christian country.
We're doing the same thing. Okay, well, here's the thing. Based on that standard, Iran is not an Islamic country because they're doing that with Muhammad in Iran. They're mocking Muhammad inside Iran. Right. Yeah, there you go. In an Islamic country. So maybe somebody should tell him that. The guy who knows this stuff is sitting right in front of him. Oh my God.
Country. So if you're not a Christian country, then where's the religion? Where the religion's supposed to enforce certain boundaries. You're supposed to at least show it respect, you know? And it's also kind of interesting because in Christian countries, there's more respect for Islam than there is for Christianity.
There's more fear. He doesn't understand the difference between, again, I want to go, I don't want to repeat. Yeah. He doesn't understand the difference between fear and respect. No, there's not more respect in Christian countries for Islam. There's more fear. Okay. And justifiably so.
In a Christian country, name one. They still don't do it with the Islamic Prophet.
Why do you think?
Because why? Why do you think that? Because they are scared, not because they respect it. God damn it, you fucking moron.
A, and then B, they do. That's why. That's why. Unfortunately, somebody got their head chopped off in France, right?
Yes, they do actually.
They talk about this stuff. Like that's why Charlie Hebdo was raided that one day by those terrorists.
Yeah,
that's. Yes, they do. Like, not only are you wrong, but the point that you're making is just far worse for you than you think it is, you jackass. Like,
but he's saying relatively. He's saying on average, they respect. By respect, he means fear. They respect Muhammad more than Jesus because they don't insult Muhammad as much as they insult Jesus in Christian countries.
And that just goes back to the fact that he has no idea what that word respect means, and we disagree with it. Right. That's just
yeah.
In a Christian country, name one. They still don't do it with the Islamic Prophet.
Why do you think that is?
It's too much smoke.
Yep.
It's just not worth the heat.
That's not respect, Andrew Tate. That's not respect.
Oh my God. And he feels good about that. Look at his little fucking face right there. He feels good about that. It's too much smoke. It's too much smoke, man. Nobody wants that smoke. Like, Jesus
This
Christ,
is, again, just a quick reminder that this is what Andrew Tate is doing right now here is an endorsement of violence. Just a reminder. This is an endorsement of violence. Yeah.
Jesus.
Because people believe. And I'm not advocating for violence on any level.
What you are. Yes, you are. Where do you think? What is that? Like, there's too much smoke. Where do you think that comes from? Oh my God, I'm not. I think he just realized. I think for the first time, his mind just realized that he's endorsing violence. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not endorsing
trying
violence.
to cover his tracks, right?
Andrew Tate, Mr. Tate. Where do you think that smoke comes from? Unbelievable. He's contradicting himself in real time. Like, oh, there's just too much smoke. And I'm not endorsing for any violence. Then why would people feel? Oh my God, I'm losing my mind here.
With the Islamic Prophet.
Why do you think
look
that?
It's too much smoke.
Too much smoke for what? Why?
It's just not worth the heat. Because people believe.
And then he just laughs about it. He just giggles about it.
No, he interrupting himself. Okay, there's too much smoke because people believe, and he didn't finish that sentence. Because what do people believe? Andrew Tate, he was going to say, there's too much smoke because people believe. And the rest of that sentence was, if I insult Prophet Muhammad, then how would that sentence finish? And then he realized that he can't, he just realized in real time in front of the camera that, oh my God, I should not finish the sentence. I should I'm against, I don't believe in violence. He just noticed that what he was going to say right now was that people believe that there would be violence.
Yep.
Okay, look at it. Look, just watch it in real time as he realized what he's just saying.
You can see the recognition.
They still
you look
don't do it with the Islamic Prophet.
Why do you think that is?
It's too much smoke. It's just not worth the heat. Because people believe, and I'm not.
No, wait. Watch. Look at this. We say there's too much smoke because people believe.
Name one. They still don't do it with the Islamic Prophet.
Why do you think that is?
It's too much smoke. It's just not worth the heat. Because people believe, and I'm not advocating for violence on any level. I'm saying that even these.
And you see in that half second where he laughs after saying there's too much smoke. He laughs and then he starts that sentence and it's obvious. I mean, you're absolutely right. It is obvious that he starts to recognize what he's about to finish that with, which is something along the lines of saying, yes, it's violence. And so, yes,
and the fact that he says I'm not endorsing violence is actually the recognition that he just endorsed violence. Because why from all things, why did he just have to come out and say that I'm not endorsing any violence? Because he just realized what he is endorsing. Yeah, but let me see. Maybe he saves it. Because
people believe, and I'm not advocating for violence on any level. I'm saying that even these degenerates who are trying to destroy people's belief in God, like we've discussed earlier, because they don't want you to have any baseline morality. If you believe in God, there are commandments, yes and no. That baseline morality prevents you being an absolute.
He didn't finish it. No, he didn't finish that sentence. He said, because people believe, and we were like, what? He didn't answer the question. He's like, why is that? It's like, there's too much smoke. So he just realized that he cannot finish those thoughts, so he changed the subject. That was a pivot. He realized that he cannot explain. He realized that he cannot explain further what that smoke is. So he's now just opened the door to it, like, oh, let's go back to the other topic that we were talking about earlier. That was a pivot because he realized in a split second that he cannot finish. If he wants to be against, if he doesn't want to endorse violence, he cannot put two and two together. He cannot connect those two thoughts. That was a pivot.
So we have shown, folks, right now, we always try to be charitable, when we're criticizing people. We have shown that Andrew Tate is not a complete fucking idiot, but close. He at least recognized in this one instance that he was about to endorse violence.
But it's worse though, because it would have been better if he was just an idiot. An idiot here would be a compliment, because that shows. Because I would have had hope for him, because if I said, like, okay, Andrew Tate is an idiot, he's not endorsing violence. He just is not connecting the dots. When he says that, he's just stupid. When he's saying that Islam is good because it instills fear in people, if he doesn't completely understand that he's promoting violence, and we're like, okay, he's just a moron. But because now I see he understands, that makes him evil. That makes him not an idiot, but here that's evil. That's just evil.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
Yeah. Okay, but let's see what the last 1 minute is.
Maybe he saves it.
Yeah. But even those degenerates who are trying to mock and disgrace God understand there's a point where it just backfires and ooh, this is smoke.
What
and
is
they don't want the
backfire?
smoke. And
What is the
God
smoke?
be feared?
Oh my God.
I'm scared of God. It's the only thing I fear. I fear God. They can put me in jail. I know I'm telling the truth. God's on my side.
But that's
the smoke? He didn't address it.
Right.
He didn't address the smoke.
And it's clear when he says that. Again, when he said that, like, I'm afraid of God, right? Like I'm, people fear God and stuff. It's obvious that he's trying to switch it, and he's trying to say that the fear that people are feeling from, God, right, is the same as what's coming from the Islamic. But go ahead.
Yeah, but here's the thing: which God do people fear? Which God do Christians fear? Christians don't fear the Islamic God because they don't believe in him. If there's any smoke that is causing them not to disrespect Muhammad, it's not fear of Allah. Right. It's fear of the violence of Muslims, not of Allah, because they don't believe in that God. Right. If you fear your God, you fear the God that you actually believe in.
Right.
Yeah,
but he's trying to make the equation of there's a lot of religious believers out there that say they fear God, thus the fear that is being felt, from the non-Islamic community about the Islamic community, that's equivalent. It's the same fear because it's the fear of God, but it's not.
He just switched the fear to a different fear because he realized that the actual smoke people are afraid of are violence, but he's just trying to save that right now. Yeah.
Still gross in either scenario, because it's like, oh no, it's weird to fear people and what they'll do, but fear this imaginary fuckhead and he'll, hurt you. But yes, you're absolutely right. He switched it because he started to realize exactly what he was about to say.
There's no atheist or Christian that is not mocking Muhammad because they fear the God of Islam. You know why? Christians and atheists don't fear the God of Islam? Because they don't think he's real. Christians, if they fear a God, it's their God, and atheists don't fear any God because they don't believe in God. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I fear God. So God should be feared. So once again, does anybody fear the Christian God? I haven't seen anybody scared of him in a long time. And it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and also that's stupid. But again, atheists and the people who are mocking Muhammad, the people who are not mocking Muhammad, who are not Muslim, they also don't fear Allah. Right. Only Muslims fear Allah.
Because it's very interesting. The mass migration and all these things are leftist policies, but then also Islam is the most right-wing religion on earth. It's kind of very interesting. I grew up in England, and I grew up in.
That was a compliment. What?
I'm just not entirely positive what point he was trying to make there. It just seemed like he shifted out of nowhere to be like, oh yeah, all these leftists have these policies of everybody coming together, and Islam's super conservative and right-wing. It's just, it almost sounded like.
Yeah, so he's actually so he's saying leftists, who are pro-migration, they're bringing in Muslims who is a right-wing ideology.
Okay, well, I thought that, and then I was like, no, I don't think you're being charitable enough, SR. Like, he can't possibly be saying that because that is completely against what he's saying. Like, it's just it. Okay, no, I'm glad you said that.
He doesn't. But he's not saying right wing as if it's a bad thing. So that's
no. But it's just I wouldn't have said that if I was in his position. I just feel like that is not a point for his side. But
by the way, Susanna is pretty offended. Andrew Tate talking about God not being feared as Christians. Like you're like
clearly
Susanna is saying, bro, what? Have you met a Catholic? Yeah, true.
That's the whole Catholic guilt. What do you think that guilt is about? It's about the fear of God. Like,
yeah. Okay, we have 30 more seconds of this.
Oh my gosh, we're never gonna get through it. I'm just
okay.
Luton, which is a town which is mainly Muslims, like it's a huge Islamic community. And there was
what is he trying to say?
Religion on earth. It's kind of very interesting. I grew up in England, and I grew up in Luton, which is a town which is mainly Muslims. Like it's a huge Islamic community. And there was a bunch of English people who were complaining about there's too much immigration, we're losing our culture. And I understood their point absolutely. But these are the same people complaining about all the left-wing LGBT in schools and all these issues. And I was like, the only allies you have against this are the Muslims. They're the only allies you have in any of this. The Christians don't protest against any of this stuff. The Christians don't. There's very few Christians who will get up off their ass.
Jesus Christ.
In fact, I saw on Twitter yesterday, one of the churches was lit up in rainbow.
That's it.
So, okay, because I know we're going to get to the rest of it next week. I won't go full on, but I would just like to point out, if there's anybody out there in this community that watches this video and genuinely thinks what Andrew Tate just said makes any fucking sense, like, please go look up who the Westboro Baptist Church are. Like, there are you kidding me? They do this regularly. The Christians stand there regularly and oh my gosh. So, okay, well, we got a taste of what we're going to get into next week. I'm not looking forward to it, Armin. I'll be
So somebody in the live chat is saying, please no more listening to Tate. We have 2 more hours of listening to Tate next week, same time. And next week is going to be about LGBT. So this week about Andrew Tate's more recent views and about Islam and God and all of that. Next week we'll do LGBT. So tune in for more Andrew Tate next week, same time, guys. Subscribe. And guys, by the way, if you like our analysis and our pushback against all this nonsense, please like the video. It really helps us grow the channel, and recommend us. We do this every week. This time with Secular Rarity. Okay, we on other days I do with Susanna, we'll do the news. But please recommend our channel to more people. And also, once the stream is over, leave a comment. You have no idea how much the comments help the channel grow. I'm actually seeing like the more comments you get, the more your channel grows. So, but if you guys want to support us, just leave a comment. Like, that really helps us out after the stream is over. But yes, Susanna saying, great stream, boys. I think we're doing it. I mean, I've looked at people pushing back against this nonsense. I think we're doing a really good job. I think we're doing, I think the level of micro analysis we do on every single word, I don't see anybody doing it the way we're doing it on any of the channels. So I'm really proud of what we're doing here. Yeah.
There's nobody as intelligent or as good looking as us out there. So just had to end it on something like that, you know?
All right, guys. I had fun, actually. I did have fun.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah. Oh, like, people are giving us Newman, Susanna, and Kenny. They're all giving us compliments. That's amazing. That motivates us.
We do this. We put ourselves through this torture for you. So the least you can do is like the video and subscribe to the channel. I mean, come on. Like,
yes. And if you want to do more, you could also hit the bell notification. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna stop with the ads and self-promotion, and we'll end the stream. And love you guys. Thank you for spending time with us, and see you again next time. Bye. Mwah.